seconds. All right, super professional streamer over here getting us live. And welcome, everyone, to Session 2 of Rise of the Runelords, Chapter 1, Burnt Offerings, Subsection, Local Heroes. No, I'm kidding. But with that being said, hello, everyone. My name is Wolf. I am the Game Master. And joining me today are 4 amazing role players and friends of mine who I've been gaming with now for, some of them, a considerable amount of time. I think Nate and... So your lights and finance, what, 2 years it's been? We've been gaming together?
Over 2 years,
yeah. Almost 2 years.
And we're still here.
And they're still here, so I must be doing something right or terribly wrong to where they can make fun of me in their side chatter. But it's absolutely brilliant. With that being said, we're going to go around the table, introduce our characters, and then today we are just going to jump right into it. I'm also going to kill the music, so you can actually probably hear what I'm saying. Super professional streamer, just doing God's work over here. Arrgh! That's for you, Elrath. Thank you for the howl. We're gonna get that howl out of the way. Oh, there it is. All right, it's good. But anyway, we're gonna start with Cord. Go ahead and introduce your character. We'll pivot around the table and then we'll get started.
Yeah, Cord. I am playing Red, the not dirty old man, the old dirty man, old dirty elf, the old dirty elf who casts magic every now and then.
I like it. Yeah. Jester.
I am Jasper, and I am playing Sumi the Panther and her animal companion Weave. Her human companion Weave.
There you go. Yeah.
Her half-elf companion Weave, sorry.
The truth comes out. Lights, you're up, my man.
All right, I am Lights Fantastic. I'm playing Osmerding. He's the 3 foot 4 inch tall gnome. He's basically a teenager in human years. He still lives with his mommy and daddy. And he's a hero of Sandpoint.
Oh, look at him go. What a guy. What a guy. What a guy. And last but certainly not least, finance.
I am playing Scarday, an Ulfin born in Sandpoint, working with the city guard to make it a better place.
Perfect. And of course, as mentioned, I am the Game Master Wolf, lover of storytelling and killing of Patrick's characters. So hopefully we'll go for a hat trick tonight, and we'll take it from there. That's what characters?
F. Is it characters?
Characters. I've killed multiple. Has it been 2? Wait, I thought I only killed 1.
2.
Wait,
1 on stream.
Who else? Oh, that's right. I killed the dwarf. I mean, the dice killed the dwarf. So did the hobgoblin. But, or it was a bugbear. It was a bugbear that killed him. Anyway, I digress. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get the process started. But we open our scene with, similar to last session, where we had an aerial shot of the town of Sandpoint. And as we zip up and over, we're actually coming towards Sandpoint from the water. You see the old tower, the old lighthouse tower off the left-hand side. You see the beach where we originally met Red. And as we zoom in, you hear the morning gulls. They're just starting to get started. They're caw, caw in the distance. And you see that the town, unlike it was 2 days prior, it's been 2 days since the events of the Goblin invasion, since the Swallowtail Festival. But as we zoom in, you see the streets are not empty, but significantly less crowded. All of the visitors, the merchants, the vendors, all of them have very quickly departed. And a kind of, not melancholy, but a kind of a reverence has fallen over the city of Sandpoint because of those that were lost. And although you did, the city itself, as well as the heroes of Sandpoint, you did push back the Goblin invasion. Some were lost, some people were killed, and the town doesn't feel quite as safe. With that being said, over the last 2 days, anytime any of you have been on the streets, you've been, I would almost hearken to say, accosted by townsfolk. Thank you so much for what you did, and oh, look, it's that panther. And someone could be like, it's not a panther, it's a lion. And then they just keep getting the type of cat that Sumi is wrong and going back and forth. The one little girl that you had seen, she is there. She's actually been somewhat like temporarily adopted by one of the families in town while they look for her mother, who unfortunately wasn't in town, but she sees you and waves and still looks rather sad and obviously heartbroken because her dad died. But with that being said, we're actually going to pivot over and down.
And you did that. I remember that.
The rusty.
I didn't do that. I tried to save her.
No, the DM did that. The DM killed the little girl's dad.
First of all, he had it coming. Second of all, it wasn't my fault the goblins did it, but I digress. So, with that being said, we're actually going to zoom in now through the window of the Rusty Dragon. And as we zoom into the Rusty Dragon, we see Skarne and your father sitting at a table. There's a beautiful spread of some fruits, some fried meats, nothing too fancy, but the Rusty Dragon is known for its breakfast chicken, which is maybe a weird thing, but they do breakfast chicken. It's
waffles?
Very heavily spiced, and they have this this kind of bread-like substance. It's not bread, it's like a waffle. It's like chicken and waffles, really.
It's chicken and waffles,
it's
bro.
fantasy chicken and waffles, which is absolutely delightful. So they have that spread out before you. And as we come to the table, your father is kind of picking it up, and he's using a knife and fork, and he goes to like dip it in the syrup, and it kind of dribbles, and he brings it towards his face, and he's there's a reason I don't eat here. Regardless, son, tell me, what? I know we've spoken some since you've returned, but I wish to hear more of your time in Magnamar. I couldn't be more proud of you for completing your training, and just tell me the story again.
Let's start from the beginning, I guess. The academy itself was immaculate. There was people from places I don't even know how to pronounce. There's all sorts of people there. All the training exercises we did, they were great. We did take a field trip of sorts down to Assyria.
Wow.
Assyrian? Is that the word? Yeah, Assyrian. To fight some mummies. It was pretty crazy.
Mummies, you say? By gods, lad, you make a father proud. And he actually looks over towards Mako. He's like, Mom, bring us 2 drinks, one for me and my boy. And she looks over, she says, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. And he goes, I don't care. He's a fucking warrior. And she like looks at him, looks to you, Skarne, for like, do you want a drink? Do you not want a drink? You know, what are we doing here? It's like, bring the drinks. All right, so she's gonna get 2 mugs of ale. Come over, place
Don't drink
them
the
on
water;
table,
it gives you the shits.
and let you hard yikes.
Sorry.
She's gonna set them down in front of you, and the 2 of you will continue this conversation. And then we're gonna pivot over to Asmerding and Red, and either by choice or by maybe just it was the only table that was open. You're both sitting at the same table right now. Are you having a conversation? Are you keeping to yourselves? What would the 2 of you be doing?
Hey, Mr. Red. What was that thing that came out of your shirt that that little creature that was in your shirt that came out?
There's quite a bit of creatures that lurk around on my body.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that one. We'll go to something else. Why do you wear the big hat? Huh? Why do you wear the big hat all the time? And where's your shoes?
To tell you the truth, I'm balding a little bit here in the back, so the hat keeps the sun off my head.
Is that kind of like the bleaching, like like gnomes when they get tired of life, they kind of bleach themselves and they kind of just lose the lust for life? Oh, you don't know about that? That's okay.
Lust for life.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, this chicken's really good.
life is so long.
And how do you cast the stuff out of your fingers? How do you make the magic? I mean, I saw you using your crossbow, and it was really cool when you slammed that crossbow and it shot the one that you weren't aiming at. It was really neat.
Crossbows are simple tools. You load them up and you point them in the right direction, and they do all the work for you.
Yeah, I pull out my little one. Yeah, I got my little one right here. It's really cool. Yours is really old though. Are you old?
You can say so. I traveled and was lost in a swamp for 40 years.
40 years? That's older than I am.
That was only a mere trip that I took before arriving here, yes. But that was just a portion of my life. Been going on for over 200.
Was it the swamp that's way down south? Was it the swamp that's way down south? I hear there's a swamp way down south. I've never been. I've never really been anywhere but Sandpoint. They said I came from somewhere else, but all I remember is go ahead. Oh, all I remember is some pretty elf lady that lives around here. Her name's Shalelu. Have you heard of Shalelu? Since you're an elf, dude, you know elves, right?
And with
you know all the
that
elves.
mildly offensive question, we're actually going to pivot over to the main entryway as Red and Osmerding are having their little back and forth, and we see a man enter in with a very thin cut mustache, a little tiny goatee. He's got 2 swords on his back.
This guy's gonna get kidnapped.
Blades.
I can already tell.
He kind of cracks his head back and forth, comes in, and he does a quick survey of the entire room. Just person to person, seeing who everyone is. There's a lumberjack looking fellow over in the right-hand corner of the bar. There's one of the barkeeps. He's cleaning one of the tables. There's Osmerding and his father. There's Weave sitting at the table. What? There's this older lady. There's one of the waitresses here, whose name you've maybe forgotten. Perhaps you know. It's Katrina. And then obviously I'm Mako. And then you've got Joe the cook in the back, who's still working on another preparation for the for Joe the cook. Sorry, I used that token for another game and it was really funny. I digress. But anyway, so he walks in, and as he walks in, person to person, looks over at Mako, gives her a quick nod. She eyeballs him like for just a lingering moment and just slowly shakes her head. And then with just a swiftness that is akin to a cat leaping on to a mouse as it's been sitting there just ever so slightly, like wiggling back and forth, he lands in a chair right next to Weave and leans in. So, a hero of Sandpoint. What's your story?
So they've been saying. I'm not sure that I quite live up to such a title.
You did, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you did defend the city against the goblin incursion while most of the townsfolk simply, what's the phrase, ran with their tails between their legs, shitting their pants.
That seems a little excessive, but I suppose. I'm a follower of Old Deadeye, and it's my, I wouldn't say burden to help defend in such cases, but it is what I would do. And I think you'll find that Sumi did much more of defending than I did personally.
And that was the cat that I saw you with?
Panther, yes.
Panther? Oh my. I'm sure a creature of such exquisite magnitude, I believe would be the phrase, and there's this kind of like almost salesman-y viscousness to his speaking right now, and you can see his gears are turning and his eyes are kind of glinting as he's having this conversation. Let me ask you this, follower of Old Deadeye. It was Weave, if I'm not mistaken, and as he does so, he ever so slightly just is kind of drawing circles on the table with his index finger, just like doing little circles right there. And as he does so, he just circle, circle, circle. How much would you part with her for?
How much would I part with Sumi for?
Yes.
Surely you're joking. All the while, Weave has been like separating out the chicken from her waffle onto a separate plate.
Brilliant. I never joke. How much?
There is no price. You simply cannot purchase her. I'm sorry.
His voice, which up to this point has been perhaps even feigned friendliness, but it has given that impression of just friendly curiosity, suddenly becomes a bit colder, a bit darker, and a little bit more serious. Everything has a price.
Is this how you always talk to strangers? Walking up to them and buying things that they care about? Who are you to be so rich and to want so much?
That circle that he's been drawing on the table. Circle, circle, circle. He stops. And then he takes his 3 fingers, index, middle finger, and ring finger, and begins to drum them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Invocation complete. Brr. Summoned monster comes out.
Demon
Anyways.
pops up behind you and steals your soul. Good game, everybody. No, that's terrible. But as he does so, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Never mind then. Perhaps it was the wrong question.
Weave is going to stand up with with only the plate of chicken. She's going to leave her half-finished waffles and start heading out the back. And as she's leaving, she's going to be like, the hole you're trying to fill cannot be filled. And then she leaves. She's out the back door.
And as he
some
watches
chicken
you
to Sumi.
leave, you get out to the back door. And as you get out to the back door, you see two gentlemen standing out the back door just around the corner. And one of them has a net, and the other one has what looks like a large collar. And they see you walk out the back door. They both look incredibly nervous. And then, without saying a word, slip back behind the building, and you hear heavy footfalls as it sounds like they're running off.
I shoot them a glare before they turn away.
Sumi licks her paw, looks over at you, and starts purring. As
I toss down the chicken, the leftover chicken from my chicken and waffles for Sumi.
Beautiful. And for those inside still, that gentleman you just saw, he ends up walking off. But Osmerding, please, you had something to say.
Yeah, I was wanting to know if I knew the guy.
You recognize him, absolutely.
What's his first name?
You absolutely recognize him. His first name is Jesker, and
Okay,
he is
so
actually
before he leaves,
I
he'll
kid
go,
you
"Hey
not.
Jesker, hey Jesker."
He stops.
Oh, that's gonna be confusing.
Looking back.
He goes, "Douchebag says what?"
What?
Yay!
Shakes his head. Idiot. And he's going to walk out and exit through the door, excuse me. And as he exits, a familiar face actually enters back in. And you would all recognize Sheriff Hemlock. He was at the festival, gave one of the opening speeches. He is the Sheriff of Sandpoint, leader of the town guard. He would actually be your commander, if you have one, Scarne, being as part of the town guard. As he enters in, he looks around the room and actually makes eyes with Scarne, locking eyes on you, and quickly marches over. Good morning, Scarne. It's good to see you. I hope I'm not interrupting a conversation between you and your father.
No, we're just talking about my time in Magmar and drinking some, albeit early morning drinks.
Very good. Well, and he pauses. I have a request. There's been an incident, or rather a strange occurrence that's taken place inside of the cemetery behind the cathedral, and for lack of a better phrase, I think it would be a good show of strength and solidarity if and he, almost like he's choking on the words, he says the heroes of Sandpoint would make an appearance.
Oh, yeah, I can muster them together, I guess.
Very good.
Weave's gonna be walking back in for this, and her pointed ears are gonna perk up when she hears cemetery. Mm-hmm. We got our junior supernatural detective over here, Ghost Hunter Sumi.
And as he nods his head to you, he looks over at Weave, nods his head in a respectful appreciation, and then he turns and is going to make his way back towards the door. As he gets about halfway there, he looks back. We'll meet you in front of the cathedral when you're ready. Perhaps no rush, but just be there as soon as you can. Thank you all. And he will exit and then head north away from the Rusty Dragon Inn. But this leaves you all a chance to interact and figure out if you'd like to go right now, if there's anything else you'd like to do in the morning.
I'm gonna look over to my father. Well, as you heard, duty calls. I'm gonna get up and then walk over to Red and Osmerding.
He simply nods his head, looks over to you. I'm proud of you, lad. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Pop.
Osmerding, your friend there who walked out the door, he's looking for a pet. I have a rat in a bag if he's interested.
Ooh, he might be, but we need to sneak it to him when he's not expecting it.
Well, this one is
need to sneak it to him
to
when
be
he's
trained.
not expecting it. Oh, more untrained the better. Trust me. And he's got, hi, Kitty. He's got a
Hey, no
he's got
cats
his
in
drums. He's got his drumstick from his chicken, but remember he's like a kid, so it's like this big. His hand. Yeah, that guy was a dick.
So I don't know if you all heard. The sheriff asked me to get all of us together.
Skade, are you a member of the guard? You don't wear their livery.
Well, I guess I am an honorary member. Yeah,
They all treat you with such high respect.
it's mostly because my father was a prominent figure, or is a prominent figure.
What is your father's position?
He's one of the longest residing residents, and he also trains most of the guard.
Your weapon's quite interesting. I've never seen anyone but a farmer wield a scythe.
Oh, this is a fancy site that
I can
bought
tell.
from I bought from a very creative individual in the academy. He wanted to make a very what's the word for it? Subtle weapon that he can be hidden. Well, when it's
strange words for a scythe. I understand it is collapsible, but still.
That's what I was gonna say. That's not very subtle at all, especially when you cut things in half. It's pretty.
It's subtle until I cut people in half.
Speaking of subtle, though, Oz, I'm surprised you're staying here instead of with your family back at home.
Well, he's probably happy.
Yeah, I didn't tell him. Amico, can I have an ale?
Amico looks over.
You did not tell them.
At Oz and slowly shakes her head. No, your mother would kill me.
Hero of Sandpoint.
If you tell her. And she's gonna get just like a child-sized cup of ale. So it's like a little. It's almost like a shot glass, a little shot glass.
So it'd be like this. Pour it out.
Yep. And she'll just boop, plop it in front of you. Just one.
So have you been no good today?
Do you all know each other? You're all friends?
I grew up here.
I've been to the city before.
I grew up here. Scarde, he used to be one of my friends, but he grew up. He doesn't remember me anymore because he left to go away. But we used to play all the time when I was this size and he was littler.
Well,
he's all growed.
Play as in he would steal stuff and try to get me in trouble for it.
Never would I ever. It was my favorite game.
Well, Red, the sheriff has summoned the Heroes of Sandpoint to help with the matter.
Red's using his index finger to poke food around on his plate. It looks like he's torn apart in pieces. There's no utensils around. The Heroes of Sandpoint. I'm a hair tonic salesman.
You can be both.
Every time, like, and anytime Red does anything or says anything, Weave is like visibly moved slightly away, just a slight fear of Red.
You might need your saliva-based talents.
Versus the healing magic.
At your comment, Red, Amico from the bar actually calls out. Even some of the most humblest, well, I said that wrong. Forgive me. Some of the greatest heroes had the most humblest of beginnings. You may be a tonic salesman, but to the people of this city, you are one of their greatest saviors.
I'm thousands of people's saviors. All those men with all their hair and great goatees.
Yeah, I've never heard of an elf with a beard, and look at him.
That's
Proof
weird.
that it works.
That's weird.
Well, Red, do you wish to come with us? You can probably get a decent bit of money to buy your hair tonic ingredients.
He twists his fingers in his beard. He doesn't have a mustache, but he has a beard. Is this a lucrative job?
I'm sure the sheriff can pay well.
Very well. I can do a bit of more healing. I am prepared today.
As long as you don't use your spit
Please
for it.
do not heal anyone. Do anything else.
Well,
And with that being said, as you all exit out of the Rusty Dragon Inn and make your way north, you have a few moments to chat as you're doing so, and you make your way north towards the Sandpoint Cathedral. And as you can see on the map here behind it, there's actually a rather large cemetery with some mausoleums. There's plenty of, graves, etc. And both Sheriff Hemlock and Father Xantus will actually meet you at the rear gate to the cemetery behind the cathedral. But with that being said, Osmeridan, you were going to say something. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, well, no, I'm done.
People always say, don't heal me, don't, that is disgusting, until they're bleeding out profusely or their neck is broken. And
I personally think I
save their
would
life.
rather die.
But if it's between dying and getting a spit heal, I'll take the spit heal. Thank you.
I have many means of healing. That was just one at the moment.
Okay.
That one is very potent, but if you want something a little bit more tame, I have the capabilities.
I'm afraid to ask, frankly. Oh, Zascard, do you happen to know that man that was talking to me? He seems to be quite interested in Sumi, and there were some poachers in the back that wanted her as well.
Yeah, you
At
need
this
to watch
point,
out for that
Sumi
guy.
is caught up.
You need to watch out for that guy. He's kind of bad news.
I haven't met the man before.
I wouldn't mind an extra pair of eyes, making sure that no one goes for Sumi, though I know she can handle herself. She's
Anyone
rather
that
strong.
has it, you can go ahead and make a knowledge local check right now. And you do get a +5 to this from chat. You actually have 2 +5s you can use.
Depends
So if
on-
you want a +10, you can take it.
I don't
Depends
have
on
local.
who hits it first. He got it.
Oh, hot damn.
Wow.
All right. So you actually know this gentleman very well. He is one of the known associates of a local crime family known as the Vassettis. And they have, in the past, been known to deal in exotic animals. And what is Sumi? Well, she's an exotic animal, so she could probably fetch a pretty good price on that black market animal trade. So they've taken an interest in her. Whether or not they'll act on it, we're not sure, but they've definitely taken an interest in her.
Yeah, you're gonna need to keep Kitty real close to get close to you. I wouldn't leave her out in the woods because they'll look for her.
I can talk to Amika when we go back and see if she'll make an exception for your cat.
As you approach the rear entrance, so you walk around the south side of the cathedral, beautiful stone, solidly built structure. As you get to the back gate, you see that the gate is the one side. It's a double cast iron gate that enters into the back area, which is the actual cemetery. And as you get up close to it, the sun has started to rise. It's about maybe 10 o'clock at this point. It was 9 or so. You took some time, got ready, gathered your things, made your way over here. You see Xantus and Father Xantus and Sheriff Hemlock standing beside each other, just having a quick conversation about the events, everything that's happened. And as you approach, Xantus is the first to speak. Oh, hello, yes, welcome, heroes of Sandpoint. Forgive me, I believe I failed to actually get all of your names the other day, but your deeds, I do indeed remember. And where did I put that? There's a scroll that I had somewhere. And he's starting to look in his robe for something that he can't seem to locate. And the sheriff looks to him and just kind of slowly shakes his head. Here's what we know. Something happened to one of the vaults in the back. The old high priest of the cathedral here, his vault was desecrated in some way. The door's been blasted in, and there were footprints around it. My guards are, and he looks to Scarney, my guards are competent, but when it comes to tracking and understanding the events of a break-in, they're a bit ill-equipped. So I'm hoping that the four of you can perhaps fill us in on what may have happened back there.
Yeah. Do you know if anything... Have you checked inside the tomb yet?
We have not. We made the choice to leave the crime scene untouched.
All
So
right.
this seems like a completely natural crime, not one of an unnatural variety.
Oh, I found it. Here it is. And he rolls out this really big scroll, and then he starts shuffling around. Where did I put that thing? There. Oh, here it is. Oh, and he breaks out a tiny little ink vial, and he reaches into another part of his robe and takes out a little quill, and boop, pops the cork. Hold on. Oh, don't spill it. And, boop, boop. All right. You with the cat. What was your name again?
I am Weave, and this is Sumi.
Is it WEAVE
Yes.
hyphen SU, and then this goes on for a while as he goes through each of your names, writing them down, and then as he's done and he finishes up, and Scar. Wait, I know you. You're his boy. Yes, welcome back. Weren't you studying in Magnamar at one point?
Yeah, I just finished. I got back just in time for the
Lovely.
incident.
It's good. I'm listening. What?
I said I got back just in time for the incident.
Oh, incident? Right. It happened. So at this point, the sheriff actually takes the high priest's arm and says, "Maybe it's time for you to get some rest." Yes, rest would be good. Rest would be good. And he starts to kind of usher him off back down the path away from the Iron Rung gates. And then as the high priest, as Father Xantus actually makes his way away from you all, the sheriff stops, letting him walk a few paces, turns back. The man hasn't had any sleep since the events. He feels
Does seem rather addled.
Addled is putting it lightly. He feels responsible for any loss of life, but there's no way we could have been prepared. I've suggested to him that he take some time to
Cyanide pills.
rest. That seems a bit aggressive, but I see where your mind's at, as it were. But cyanide is... I digress.
Or the... Real quick, just for the DM, I have... why am I blind? Oh, because I'm on Sumi's sheet. I have Spirit
You're a
Sense.
main character.
I have Spirit Sense, so I can, like, it's like Detect Undead, but I can see undead, fae, outsiders, astral, ethereal, and incorporeal creatures, like through walls and stuff.
Perfect.
So
that is
if we're fighting any undead right now, I will see them ahead of time.
excellent. What's the range on that for you?
It is as detect presence of undead, so I will check that spell real quick.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
think that functions as detect magic.
I'd like to add some flavor to that last whole conversation.
Absolutely, go for it.
60-foot range, 60 feet.
Yeah, go for it.
Red, other than probably spelling his name for Father Xantus, which was fairly simple, R-E-D. His very low charisma was present throughout that entire conversation.
Imagine.
As he was probably everybody's probably fairly annoyed with him during that entire conversation. He was hacking up something nasty out of his throat the entire time in the background.
Cool.
Here's a lozenge.
Just in between talking between everybody, he was just hacking, and then finally he's like, "Oh, I'm all right." Yes.
Weave is always standing the furthest from red of any party
As
member.
is possible, right?
R-E-D.
I'm gonna hand
Like the color.
I'm gonna hand you a lozenge.
The lozenge.
With
Ye
that
olde
being
lozenge.
said, we are going to pivot you over to the back area of the cathedral, and you're heading off to the desecrated vault. This is the vault of the former high priest prior to Father Xantus. He had died in the fire, along with several other, clergymen, some citizens that were in the town when the old cathedral burned. But as you get close, I'm going to have everyone make perception checks to see if you can identify a few interesting features of this area.
Oh, for a second I thought I rolled another 20. Is this a dug up grave, by the way, over here?
Wow.
It is.
Let's see if Sumi can tell me anything.
Meow.
You are keeping your eyes on
Sumi
Red,
knows, though.
who is way too close to you at all times, and he keeps hawking up, I believe, some sort of weird, strange things. Correct me if I'm wrong, Red. Just like phlegminess. Yeah, it's real nasty. But
I swear there's a hole in the back of my throat and some kind of insect or spider has climbed in through the back and is leaving something in there.
Sumi is off towards that dug-up grave to the right-hand side there. With that being said, you also notice that there are several tracks that appear to lead from the wall. There's a medium-sized wall, about 8 feet tall, at the back side of the graveyard that juts and comes right up to the tree line. You can see some trees hanging over. And along that wall and near the base, you actually see what looks like tracks. The day prior to the Swallowtail Festival, you'd actually had a little bit of rainfall, so this area here was moist at the time. You do see there's some tracks. Now, if you want to go ahead and make your survival check, we can actually confirm how many tracks there are and perhaps who the tracks were for.
What is the tombstone for? Like, who is it for?
This tombstone appears to be for a local citizen, nobody of any great importance.
Do I have a name?
You do not have a name because the name has been scratched out, it looks like by some sort of claw mark, like a claw or some sort of chisel, and it's scraped to the point where you can't actually read it anymore.
Sumi's attempting to do some tracking. She also has scent, if that helps that 8 at all.
And what was your range on that spirit sense?
60 feet.
60 feet? Okay. You are picking up from inside this vault undead presence.
Can I tell like the size or anything like that?
2 medium-sized undead inside there.
I'm sensing some undead from inside the vault there.
Undead.
You said what? As Red is eating some leaves from this bush that he just plucked.
Undead. The non-living. The once living.
My favorite. I feel like I'm undead sometimes myself.
Red,
I
why are
assure you,
leaves?
you're not, though. I can see why you would make that mistake.
As he pulls some spiderweb out from his ear.
We've just like cringing, just like, please stop.
As you are cringing and whatnot, you actually made that. So did you make the survival check or did Sumi?
Sumi did with scent. I can do another survival with weave if you want.
Please.
Oop. 12.
Okay.
No scent.
Okay. You did have a +5 from chat, which would give you a 17 that you haven't used yet. So we're going to go ahead and give that to you, because what you're going to discover is that there are 7 distinct sets of tracks. 6 of them appear to be goblinoid. 1 of them appears to be a medium-sized creature. What kind of creature it was is unknown, but you're definitely picking up 7 tracks, 6 goblins.
Like shoes or like
shoed feet. Yes, somebody was wearing shoes. They all are milling about this area. You can see that the main door to this crypt, this tomb, the vault, has been smashed in from the outside, and you can see some of the muddy tracks lead in and then back out.
Said there's danger. If there is, Red would like to cast Mage Armor on himself.
Okay.
Which will last for an hour.
I'm going to pull my weapon out and give it the old enchanting.
Okay. And as you enchant your weapon, do you push open the door? Are you going to wait for everyone else to come up behind you? What is the plan?
I imagine Sumi should go in first. She's very good at handling undead and ghosts. I'm going to cast guidance on Sumi as she's passing by me.
Okay.
Although she cannot open the door, so if you'd be kind enough to open it for her.
Well, we can go in at the same time. I don't know if your cat knows what numbers are. I'll count down.
Do it on your hand. She'll see that, and she knows that quite well.
Alright. I'll do the old 3, 2, 1, and then open the door.
Boom.
Richard, clear!
As you kick open the door or lightly press it open, however you choose to do it. But as you open the door, you see that there is a 15-foot hallway that leads to, survey says, a second door. This one, however, is shut.
You didn't reveal, by the way.
Oh, I know. I'm getting to it. Hold your horses. Skadoosh. A second door.
Sumi pounces in with a breaching clear. It's like, there's nothing in here.
Love
Hey.
it.
Oz, I don't want you to get hurt, because your mom would probably kill me. If you want to hang back a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Gets as close as possible.
I'll 3, 2, 1, open the door again.
And as you burst open the door, the
Sumi
light
has a ready to action to like leap over
from the
and attack
entrance
anything.
illuminates a broken sarcophagus, a stone sarcophagus. And as it illuminates, you see that there are 2 skeleton figures standing there. Each of them has a rusty blade in their hand. And as soon as you smash open the door, all of the ready actions go off. We're actually going to go ahead and roll initiative and jump into a little bit of combat.
Sure to select your tokens.
They're bony boys.
Combat.
It's not Mortal Kombat because there's undead.
Ooh.
Undead
Who needs a
combat.
surprise? I'm just gonna get 2 off immediately. I'm gonna get my surprise and then just immediately go after that.
Love it.
Good for you. And then also weave.
All right. Let me know when everybody's in, and we will dive right into this.
Where's
Red.
it? What screen is initiative on again?
Core.
Core
At the very bottom.
And
There
these
it is.
skeletons, skadoosh, and
A little
Red is-
initiative macro.
And red is in the back.
all right,
Oh, it's the skeletons.
skeletons. Sumi. So we're actually going with the surprise round first. Ready actions are going to go off. Sumi is going to go first, and then the skeletons are going to get their ready action. But go ahead, Sumi. She is up first.
Sumi like climbs up on Scard's back and leaps off and jumps down in front of this first skeleton and goes for a paw swipe,
Oof.
Oof.
which didn't go so well.
Lunging forward, Sumi leaps at this skeleton, but as she does so, her back paws hit a bit of that metal sarcophagus, some of its top, and they give way, and she slips a little bit and has to place both of her paws down to maintain her footing. With that being said, the skelly to the right there is going to bring the sword up, double-handing, and slashes down at Sumi with the weapon. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and use my +5 that chat gave me earlier. And survey says 28.
Ooh.
28
That
to
does, in
hit.
fact, hit.
That is indeed a hit. So it slashes down. It's a broken blade, so it only goes up about halfway. It looks to have been a long sword at one point. It's jagged at the top, and it just makes a slashing motion across Sumi's backside, dealing a whopping 8 + 2, 8 points of damage to the kitty cat. Yikes.
No problem.
And with that, this one charges forward. You hear this creaking, the scraping as its feet almost drag across the ground, and it's going to slash at Scarday. And as it brings it's actually wielding what looks to be a like broken, like slightly like almost melted mace, and it's going to try to just bash you in the head with that mace, and it goes to swing on you with a 10. You manage to bring your scythe up and just ka-ching, and the skeleton just creaking bones doom right into the wall, and there's a bit of rubble that kind of bashes off the wall and actually lands kind of like spitter-pattering on your face from the wall. But now we are back to the top of the round with Sumi.
Sumi is going to rip and tear. I gotta turn off guidance
go.
though first because she missed. Attacks. Rip and tear into the same skeleton.
Love it.
There it goes.
Ooh,
That one.
possible crit miss. We'll have you re-roll that. The 19 is going to hit for a solid 3 damage. As Sumi brings that bite down, the skeleton actually grabs onto her neck with its one of its skeleton hands. And go ahead and roll the attack again. Ooh, that is a confirmed crit miss. We're going to go ahead and bring up the critical miss deck. And survey says we've got, this is a natural attack.
Eat dirt.
Oh, it was a bite.
If
Oh,
this attack
no.
was a bite, you are nauseated for 1d6 rounds. Oh my gosh.
Sumi, no.
Sumi, what are you doing? No! Level 1
Do I roll the
characters.
1d6 or do you roll the 1d6?
You know what? I am going to go ahead and roll the 1d6. So 1d6. 6
Oh.
rounds. She's
Wow.
nauseated.
All right.
Ooh,
Thanks, guys.
That is
It's been fun
rough.
playing today.
That
Had a good
is
time. Thanks for having me here. I had a good
Oh
time.
my God.
All right, that was great.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
We're gonna go ahead and we'll do 6 on her. So what happens is, as Sumi goes to bite, she does get that one claw in and actually breaks a bunch of the ribs off of the skeleton, and it actually looks like it was about to fall over, but then it grabs onto her neck and just buries its, just like digging into her throat, and Sumi starts coughing and is now like, sounds like she's like hot. You ever heard a cat throw up a hairball? Yeah, that's exactly what Sumi's doing for the next 6 rounds, unfortunately. But Weave, you are up next.
Jeez.
Said your cat was trained for this?
Oh my God, you guys are so mean. Sumi. She's trying her best. She's trying her best.
Can't even like get in there to do anything. Yeesh, dude. Absolute yeeshers. I guess I'll just try and sling at the skeleton I can see, even though it's into combat.
Absolutely can. 100%.
Fire my rock. Hey, that's pretty good. It's -2 to because I'm into combat, I think. So.
-4, but that is a hit for 5
Hey.
damage. That's bludgeoning. So this skeleton is bringing its mace back, and looks like it's about to bring it back down on Scarday, and then a pellet strikes it in the skull, and it just explodes, sending bone meal and just chunks of its shattered skull all around the chamber. And onto Scarday, you've got little bone chips like in your hair and whatnot, and it just collapses to the floor, defeated. Done. Beautiful. And next up is this Skelly, who looks down at Sumi, sees an opportunity, is going to go ahead and roll on Sumi. 17 to hit, I believe, is a miss.
Unless a nauseated affects, I don't think it
I
affects.
don't think it does. I don't think. That's actually a great question. Nauseated.
It doesn't look like it does. So yeah, no, that's not a hit.
Conditions. Nausea.
Yeah, I think a nausea is just you can't do anything
Cannot
except
do
take a
anything.
move action.
So it goes to bring its double handing that sword down on Sumi, and as Sumi's doing the and she jumps to the side trying to get out whatever's in her throat, similar to what Red does, and then it just clang and you hear that scrape.
Do not compare my beautiful beast to Red.
But there's actually some sparks as it kind of strikes the floor, and the inside of the chamber is illuminated just for a few moments from those sparks, and you see Scarday. You would see this inside of that sarcophagus. You see that there should be something or someone or a body inside there. It is completely empty. And as we pivot over, we go to Osmerding.
All right, so Osmerding, he wants to run all the way up there and then jump on this thing's back, but he's going to have to run in between the legs of Scarday or around him, depending on how he does. Should I do an acrobatics check?
Yeah, make
You
an
can move
acrobatics
through
check.
allied tiles.
But you know,
We're gonna
it's
have
just-
make an acrobatics check.
we're gonna do
We're gonna have some
acrobatics.
fun.
We're gonna do
We're
acrobatics.
gonna have some fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do acrobatics.
For continuity, I'm not gonna let him go through.
Nat 1 falls on face, 1d4 damage.
Nat 1 straight into his junk.
Nope.
Scarday is also nauseated. There you go.
26.
That is good. You do a nice little slide, like almost like a slide tackle, right underneath his legs, right
damn it,
back
Oz.
onto your feet.
That's 20, and of course I have that trait that allows me to go 25 feet the first round.
Beautiful.
So from here, he's going to jump on the top of this guy, jump on his chest,
Love it.
using the skeleton holes, the skeleton ribs.
can, like,
as
dive
hand
through
It's
his
holes.
like a
ribs.
ladder, the rib cage.
Grab onto the spine and then like
And then he
whip
pulls
around
out
onto
his
its
dagger,
back. I like
And
it.
he's going to try to stab it in the eye.
I love
Now,
it.
I'm not grappled, he's not grappled, but he does take a minus whatever my sneak attack modifier is.
Okay.
So right now it's only a -1 to all attacks against me,
Perfect.
not against anybody else.
Perfect.
So here comes the stabbity dagger.
That is a hit. You
For
stab into
1
its
point.
skull, and your blade just slides
0.
off the skull.
0 points. 0 points.
Slides
Yep.
off the skull. Scarday, you're up next.
Damn it, Oz. I'll move forward and power attack.
Oh
And
boy.
I don't have power attack.
Oh boy. Don't do a 1.
I didn't roll a 1. I rolled close to a 1.
13. You swing into it, and your scythe, as you're bringing it down, Sumi starts to like arch your back, and you have to stop so you don't cut the top part of Sumi off. So your blade just kind of like tink 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 plays a little song on the skeleton's rib cage, just tink 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 up the rib, and unfortunately that is a miss. Next up is Red.
All right. I guess I'm going in. I'll come in right there. I guess see this creature there. Man, I don't have a lot of options. It's crowded in here. I guess I can stand right there. I was asking about doing a touch attack, but I don't think I can get in there, right?
From your position, I mean, if you want to move over to this side and say you reach across to the skeleton, I'm totally cool with that. You can like half climb on the sarcophagus and just like lean over and like grab onto it. That's totally fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of sneak around the back side there, on the other side, and kind of looking over, kind of looking around, and I'm gonna slowly. I don't have my crossbow out. My hand is just bare. I kind of reach just ever so slowly across the top of this sarcophagus there, and I reach out and just try to graze this thing with a finger or two with a touch attack. To cast healing on it.
Ooh.
So that would just be a regular touch attack, right?
Regular touch attack, my man. You're absolutely right.
Which is strength, so that's going to be a -1 to hit.
Ooh, look at you.
And I don't think I'm ready for that, so I'm just going to roll a d20 on.
I'll just hit melee.
Just hit melee on your
Hit
character sheet under the
melee?
attacks. Yeah, just hit melee. It'll be good.
Is that a thing on here?
It absolutely
Yep.
is.
Under the attack.
It's towards the top
Under
of the
attack.
attacks tab.
Get after it.
Attacks and combat maneuver bonuses?
Yep, just say melee would be.
Oh
your
yeah, there it
attack.
is. Look at that. You guys are teaching me how to use this thing really well.
Great teaching moment.
There you go.
So you reach out,
Oh.
and as you go to reach out, similar to what happened to Sumi when she tripped, your foot catches a rock or a bit of rubble, and you slide forward, and you have to catch yourself, and you see that kind of bluish golden glow and a little bit of spider webs kind of sweep out from your hand over the top of this sarcophagus, and then you quickly pull it back so you don't use the ability.
Why
of
is
the
it when he's
sarcophagus.
trying to heal the enemy, it's less gross than when he's trying to heal us?
Sumi continues to hack up whatever is.
I
stuck
still have
in his
movement.
throat.
I guess 5-foot step is a swift action. It's not actually a move action, so I can't even 5-foot step away.
No, you can still 5 foot. It's not an action.
I can only take move actions when I'm nauseated, and
Yeah.
5-foot stepping is a swift action,
Correct.
and so
yeah.
I cannot 5-foot step. I can only move, which would provoke an attack of opportunity. So I guess I'll just stay there and hope that everyone kills it before
man.
before it's.
And as that happens, Weave, you are up next.
I will walk up and I will pull another one of my slings off my belt. So I have like 5 of these preloaded, and I whip it.
2 for 1 special.
What?
I said 2 for 1 special. Let's see if we can get the other one.
Let's
Let's go.
Whip my sling. Pebble. Oh, not great.
It goes true. Goes right through one of the skeleton's eye
Right
sockets.
through the rib.
You hear it go ting 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 inside, and then it just falls to the floor.
All right.
Between its feet. But,
Okay.
but you looked cool doing it. Absolutely looked cool doing it. With that being said, next up is Skelly. Skelly is going to drop the sword it's holding and is going to bring both of its clawed skeletal hands back and try to just rake at Osmerding with both hands. So it's going to go ahead
-1.
and swing. 13 and
Ooh.
21.
So 20 does hit.
All right, you are taking a whopping 6 points of damage. So it goes to swing. You manage to bring your blade up and deflect it, but as you're distracted by that, it brings its other skeletal hand around, grabs onto the side of your face, just scraping down the side, drawing a thick gout of blood from you and actually almost nicks your eye. You've got this, you're gonna have a wicked looking scar, just like a claw mark across your face.
Oh boy.
Next up is Osmerding.
All right, so I'm gonna move around to its back, try to get on its backside, and then stab at its skull again. See if it works. Stabby. So 16.
16 is a hit.
So 3 points.
As
So
you stab into it
13.
again, tink, 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 you're scraping off. There's no flesh for the blade to go into. Just scrapes off, and doesn't appear to be doing anything. Scarday, you are up next.
All right, hopefully I can actually hit it this time.
I believe.
Hiya.
14.
13 or 14?
14 is gonna hit. And as Osmerding, you are like chipping away at bones, and you're like trying to stab into its femur. Scarday, you bring your scythe up. You slash down, connecting with its shoulder. There's a cracking noise. Osmerding, you may actually have to like dive off to get away from it. And then as the blade seems to be resisting the skeleton, you manage to pull down, and the whole thing just crumples to the floor with a clank, 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 clank. A little clattering of bones striking the ground. And with that being said, the combat is done. Now the scene before you.
Ow,
is...
ow, 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 ow. Red, do you got any spit?
My throat's actually fairly dry right now. Everybody runs outside to not watch.
Me and Sumi are out, and I'm gonna be healing Sumi.
Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here.
Do I actually see like damage to him?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got hit by
Yeah, it is the big scars.
Mark
Yeah.
down his side. Part of his armor has been slightly cut open, and he is not actually bleeding in game terms, but you do see blood is trickling down the left side of his face.
Red looks like he's thinking deeply. He's grasping at his chin beard and pulling at the hairs. He pulls at it about 3-4 times, and then the last time he looks like he pulls this piece of scraggly hair, and holding it between his thumb and his index finger, he reaches out with his other hands towards Osmerding's face, and as he does, the hair comes alive and starts to suture in across his wound magically.
What's interesting about this, though, is that Osmerding, as the wound, these claw marks on your face are stitched up by this hair, it doesn't erase it, but it creates this, it looks like you have this claw mark on your face. You have these scars that are forming from the magical healing. Oh yeah. Mom's gonna know. Mom's gonna know. She's gonna know.
Weave reaches down and places her hand on Sumi's scar, and the same like leaf effect kind of twindles over it, and then they fly away.
Beautiful.
She's completely mended, no scar left behind.
It was a 1d8 plus 1.
Yeah, do you want me to roll it?
I'll roll it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Go 1d8 plus 1.
Nice.
Okay, I'm back up to normal.
There you go.
So no scars.
Oh no, you've got scars. 100%
No.
you've got scars. Absolutely, there's scars.
No.
But with that being said, you now have a moment, Scarday, Red, and Osmerding, to just survey this interior of this crypt, this vault. Two interesting things that you discover. In the far right corner of the crypt, you see a discarded robe lying in a little bit of a heap in the corner. And what's strange about this robe is it looks to be like it's made of, almost like it's made of bones. It's got these interesting bone-like patterns stitched into it, and there are these blank spots on the robe that look like maybe patches were ripped off of it at one point. Go ahead and make a spellcraft check on this particular robe in the corner. Anyone that has it.
25.
Spellcraft?
So, Scarday, you actually recognize this as a robe of bones. It is a necromantic magical item that allows you to summon skeletons, raise dead, etc. But it works off of these patches that are on it. It appears that this particular robe of bones has been completely used up. There are no remaining patches on it. The other interesting thing, which I actually already pointed out to you, but you do realize that the body, which should be in this crypt, inside of this tomb here, is not present. It is gone. Now, the body is of the late Ezekian. He was the former high priest, the former high cleric of Desna here in Sandpoint. He died along with his daughter way back when the Sandpoint Cathedral burned many years ago. But his body is gone, and that's really all you discover in here, other than the 2 skeletons that you've defeated, that discarded robe of bones, and then the fact that the body is missing.
I'm gonna grab the robe of bones and I'll motion over to Oz and Red. Looks like there's some ulterior things going on during that the goblin raid.
Yeah, why would somebody want the body? Whose body was this?
Dumb question. But does it look like the body was just taken, or that there was maybe not a body here for a long time?
It looks like the body was just taken.
Okay.
Not a
Just
dumb question
making
at all.
sure.
Not a dumb question at all. Good question.
Looks like some people wanted a high cleric dead body.
That's weird. Oh well.
Speaking of weird, it was
Rich.
weird that you decided to jump on a skeleton's back, Oz.
No, that's not weird. That's all. That's what I do. I love that.
You get scars so your mom will kill me.
I tried to touch one. I've never touched a walking skeleton before.
It's just hard to touch The Walking Dead. It's just so good.
I'm going to have a word with that tavern keep. Her chicken made my poor cat sick.
No, I think the mouthful of bones made the cat sick.
Yes,
Anyway.
eating the undead isn't recommended.
Yeah,
I've studied a bit of medicine.
I'm gonna.
stabbing didn't do any good at all. I mean, it was like I was not even chipping it. It was.
You
What
probably
do you
should
do?
use Stibity.
I used stabity. I stabity.
You probably should have used Stibity, right? Stibity.
Stibity.
And as you are all
Oh,
discussing the
okay,
events
okay.
and slowly making your way back towards the double cast iron gates, you see that the Sheriff Hemlock is waiting just outside the gate, outside of the cemetery area for you. And as you all walk up, and none of you look injured, so obviously nothing bad happened. However, he takes a double take and looks at Osmerding, and looks at him again, shakes his head. So, what did you discover?
Looks like the goblins weren't
Grave
the only
robbers.
people taking over or attacking the town. Somebody came in and stole the old high priest's body.
Stole the high priest's body? What would
I
they
don't know.
What would they need the body for? This is the body.
There's also a second grave was dug up too. The name was scratched out, so I don't know who it was.
Do you know which plot it was?
The
Far
plot
end.
to the
We indicate the plot.
yes,
The far end, the one on the
the
far
southeast
end.
plot.
There
Yeah.
should be records inside of the temple, the cathedral that is, that should tell us who was there. The tombstone you said was a tombstone not present, or
No, it was there, just all scratched up, like somebody
Yeah.
got really mad at
I
it.
see. So
Oh, I also found this. I'm gonna hand it to him, and if he doesn't immediately recognize it, I'm gonna tell him it's a rubber.
he looks at it. A robe?
It's used to make undead.
He opens it up.
We
looks
fought
at
a
it.
couple skeletons inside the crypt. Something to cover their tracks, I imagine.
Yeah. I learned that you don't stabity at a skeleton.
Use Stibity.
You stibity, yeah.
The goblins weren't alone in their attack here. There was other tracks of some sort of humanoid wearing shoes. Not sure if it was a member of the town or not. But they're probably the one responsible
Did you
for
say
the body
a
stealing.
humanoid?
I don't know if they... What?
Did you say a humanoid? Someone was working
some
with the
sort.
goblins?
I don't know if they were working with the goblins or if they came afterwards. There's lots of goblin tracks all over the place, and there's a chance that whoever was stealing the body just came in using the commotion to do their job. Possibly a necromancer, as indicated by the robe. Though, do you have a necromancer problem here in Sandpoint?
He shakes his head. No, not to my knowledge. I'm going to ask you all a favor. This town has seen enough turmoil in the last few days. I'd like to keep this development amongst ourselves, at least until we discover more about what is exactly happening here. Is that something we can all agree on?
Keep
Yeah,
them down the.
yeah, well, yeah, no problem. I mean, there's no way anybody's gonna know that we did anything.
I'm gonna look over at Oz and just give him the eye. Don't say anything.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, but I know you.
Okay.
I'm very interested in rooting out this evil. If you could tell me, if you could get us to that log a bit quicker, I would really appreciate it.
Oh, if we wanted to see if we have a necromancy problem, we should go to the academy, the Turnidoc.
The academy.
Yeah, there's a there's a wizard who lives out in this town. He has a little place down south over by where I live, down the street from where I live, and maybe he's a necromancer.
Oz, I can assure you there are no necromancers in this city. If there were, we would have already hung them.
No, open necromancers. I think there's some pretty good evidence right now that there are indeed necromancers, at least near the city. Not in it.
Here's what I'll ask you. Give me some time to do some research, ask some questions. For the time being, if you could simply make your presence known in town. The people are looking to you for support and, well, morale. Seeing you walking the streets, seeing you proud and tall will likely keep the citizens calm while we look into this further. I will speak with Xantus once she's had a bit more rest. And he motions to Weave, who had mentioned that he seemed a little off, the father did. But in the meantime, just go about your business. And as soon as I discover anything of any importance or any information, I will meet with you again. Thank you for looking into this. And unless you have anything else to say to him, he's going to turn and walk away.
What was the name of the syndicate guy again?
Jessica?
That wants my cat.
Jessica.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica.
I should have known that one.
Absolutely.
I imagine there's nothing that you can do to stop Jessica from wanting my cat.
Yeah, he was acting really weird.
Jessica and his cronies are a known problem in the city, but they're very good at covering their tracks. No pun intended. I'll put a few guards on him and watch them for the time being. As far as your Sumi there, I figure she can take care of herself.
Yes. Not with the chicken that tavern's been serving.
What's wrong with the chicken at Rusty Dragon?
It was delicious. I loved it. I mean, it didn't do anything for me.
It's one of my favorite meals in town.
I suppose if you've lived here your entire life. With that, Weave is leaving.
Some people don't have strong stomachs.
Yeah, I mean, I can handle Red really easily, and he's kind of the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. But it's kind of cool.
Crikey.
Those are the words you don't say in front of them.
Oh, he's disgusting.
Yeah, don't say that in front of people.
Oh, Red, I didn't say that.
It's all right. It's a life
honesty is
choice not
appreciated.
to. Well, I mean, I bathe, but I haven't been down to the water, the ocean, lightly.
Hey.
The salt water, it's so good for the skin.
Well, whatever you do, if you do decide you're going to go swimming in the river, make sure you don't swim near the tanners, because it's really bad. It really stinks.
I know exactly.
Or
what you're
exclusively
talking
swim.
about. Where do you think I got the rat from?
Okay, cool.
So it's about 11 o'clock at this point. You've had some time to, this is about how long it took you all to investigate, etc. Is there anything that you all would like to do prior to returning to the Rusty Dragon? Like, what would you all be doing?
If we're looking for, some information about the town, I have a friend of mine. His name's what's his name? I can't remember his name. Oh, Vesnet Paru. He's a gnome like me, and he has a library. It's way up north, and we could go see him if you wanted to. But if you don't, that's fine. We could just go walk around the town and say, the heroes of Sandpoint have done it again. Yay!
Much further north can we go in this town?
It's just up off of Cliff Street, over by the cliff, by Junk Beach.
Before I leave, I would like to take another look at those tracks to see if I have any indication where they're going.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give us another survival check on those tracks to see if you can indicate where they're heading off to.
This
I'll
is
assist him.
Weaves, and I'm going to give Sumi one because she has scent and has a little bit of a bonus for tracking.
Nice.
There's Vesnet.
Okay. Oh, 21's not bad.
21. So you actually follow the tracks, Weave, and you're able to follow the tracks down kind of around this vault, this tomb that you discovered the missing body. And as you follow it, it leads right up to the wall, and it appears that the tracks end at the wall, and then you can see a little bit of muddy marks up that wall. If you take the time to go out and around the backside, you see that the tracks lead away from the town due east, so inland, away from Sandpoint, and then about 1.5 miles away from town, curve abruptly and sharply to the north, head off, and then you lose the tracks where the ground becomes more solid and less moist, and it becomes a little more rocky at that point. But it appears the tracks head north, at least for another 2
So, like,
miles
over
or
this
so.
wall and into the forest, just to clarify.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
exactly correct. Mm-hmm.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
All right. That's my piece. Good to know that the necromancer's not. Doesn't seem like the necromancer's probably in town then, which is a good sign.
What's wrong with necromancers?
Not a big fan of the undead and such like that. They have a place, and it's not here.
They just misunderstood.
Look at the chat. That's just so sad.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Wow.
Wow.
Undead aren't. It's
Wow.
not that they're misunderstood. It's that most undead, or most necromancers use the undead for ill will.
What if you create undead to sweep your floors?
I think most people will still think you're kind of weird, and
I mean, it's
They'll
cheap
probably-
labor.
you could just hire.
I did not
some
think my
people.
opinion could get much lower of you, Red. That's quite impressive, actually.
You could just hire people to sweep it. If not, you can buy a broom for a copper.
I find the use of the
Anyway.
undead abhorrent, and their existence is a blight on our world.
So imagine, if you will, that you're all having this conversation, just doing a
We're wandering.
little lazy
Walking
patrol
back
around
to
town.
town.
And as you get
Walking,
into
we're
the
walking.
that kind of open air area in front of the cathedral, you would all notice a young, relatively attractive woman is giving you a very long eye, and she runs up almost frantically straight up to Scarde. Just right up to him. Scarde! Scarde! Oh, thank the Lords and thank the heavens above that I have found you. My father, he hasn't been paying attention, and there are rats. There are giant rats in the basement of our shop, and please, I need your help. I need your help so desperately. Please, 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 not the others, only your help. And she's like fawning over you, just aggressively fawning, just hand on the chest, just almost like draping herself over you. And she's going on and on about how she has this horrible rat problem inside of her shop, which is a local business. And she's just fawning and fawning and fawning over you. And she wants you to come help her with a rat problem.
Hashelis vendor. Hashelis vendor.
Osmandy.
Hashelis
Oh,
vendor.
Skade, I need your help. Shut up, child. I need your help. Those terrible rats. They're just terrible. They're just so large, and only a strong warrior like you could help me. And let's have everyone make a knowledge of local check on Shayless here. Shayless,
I don't have it.
Excellent. Excellent. So she just seems very upset, and she's going on and on about how there are giant rats in the basement of her father's business, and her father has been too busy to take care of them, and she really needs a big, strong man to come and help her kill those rats.
I guess none other than the heroes of Sandpoint can assist.
Just one of you particular, if that's all right.
I get well with rats very well.
Disgusting. Oh, please, Scotty, just could you help me, please?
All right.
Hashelis vendor. Hi, Shady Spender.
And she will grab your right hand.
I imagine
in
like
hers, linking.
Imagine like Weave was gonna get in the way of this, but like as soon as they're like Red's disgusting, Weave was like, no, this girl's all right. This is fine.
She links,
Sleep.
doesn't grab your hand like this. She links like this, fingers linking, and then she's going to literally drag you off to Vendor's shop. So
Have fun with the rats.
you would know that Vendor is the owner of one of the shops in town. Actually, one of the most well-known shops in town. And as she drags you over to the shop, you notice that it's actually not open today for whatever reason. But she opens the front door, ushers you inside, and she's just going on and on about, oh, these rats, they're so big, and they're scary, and they're terrible, and they're large, and this and that, and this and that, and all and all and on and on and on and on. And then you get to the back room, and there's a little trap door. She opens up the trap door, and she climbs down first. She says, shh, be quiet, the rats, they might hear us. And then, Scarlet, do you follow her downstairs?
I'll first off ask, why isn't the shop open?
Oh, my father, he's just far too busy fawning over my sister, and I just figured this would be a nice thing for us to do if you could just make your way down the ladder. Down the ladder, the rats are over in the corner, over here.
I'll let out a sigh and start climbing down.
And as you climb down the ladder, you get into the basement of the area, and you hear a cat go meow in the corner. And as she leads you over the corner, lo and behold, there's no rats. But there's a bed and a couple candles.
Oh my
Who
God.
would have guessed?
And a jug of wine. And she throws herself at you. Do you reciprocate, or do you push her back and leave? That's all we need to know.
I'm gonna push her back. Listen, I'm not interested right now.
What do you mean you're not interested?
I have other things to deal with right now.
It won't take long. And then she pushes herself towards you again, very aggressively.
I don't know if that's an insult to me or not, but I can't do this right now.
Give me a perception check.
I'm going to. Okay.
Hi, Shady Spender. Hi, Shady Spender.
You just appear in the corner of the basement.
No, I'm across the street.
Wait. Oh. Well. Oh God.
No, I'm not really, but I am across the street. I'm not saying anything.
Oh man, so
I'm up on the roof.
She's looking very disappointed as you're rejecting her, and she sits down on the bed and starts crying. She literally breaks down and starts crying, and she's going on and on about how everyone prefers her sister and no one likes her, and she just wanted to know what it would feel like to feel loved, and this and that. And she's going on, and you hear a, "What the fuck are you doing?" And as you turn around, you see a very angry and disgruntled looking Ven Vinder. And Ven Vinder is the owner of this establishment. He is also the father to this young woman. And he looks, for lack of a better term, he looks pissed. And he sees his daughter crying in a bed. You standing before her. She's half undressed, by the way. And his face flushes red. His fists bunch up and they come up in this boxing stance. Explain yourself.
Well, first off, your daughter ran up to me in the middle of the amphitheater in front of, that's the word, right? Like an open air
The
place?
cathedral.
In front of the cathedral,
Great.
she ran up to me saying you had a rat problem. I came back here with her. There wasn't rats. There was a bed, and a very promiscuous situation arose. Your daughter wanted to do things I didn't want to do. I told her no.
Hey, what's your
She
AC?
started crying, and you started coming down.
What's your AC?
Hey, what's your AC?
My
You ain't
AC's
getting out of
18.
this.
Okay. What's your flat-footed AC?
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's 15.
Okay.
Flat-footed is 15.
All right. So you're going on and on, basically calling his daughter a hussy.
Yep.
All right. And you don't, as you're going on, and you're about halfway through the part where, you were downstairs in the basement, he swings at you wide, and you just manage to dip out of the way. as his blow comes right by your head. You son of a bitch, calling my daughter a hussy? I'll beat the fucking lights out of ya! And he just starts swinging on you. Just
If anyone in
wildly.
this situation is to blame, it's you for not giving your daughter enough attention.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh my
Big Van
god,
Hole.
he takes
Oh.
another swing on you with a 15. Which,
That doesn't hit.
yeah,
'cause
he clocks you in the face, but you manage to just like pull back from it, and he's going all in on you.
I'll
all in on
punch
you.
back.
Oh my god. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
It went to the academy.
The Academy of Whooping.
The Academy of Hard
Oh my
Knocks.
god.
Oh,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
told you.
So you
should've gone for
swing,
the gnome.
your attack actually hits, and you gut check him. And he lets out a loud oof as you do so. As this is happening, what is your... How many ranks in sense motive do you have?
Non-existent.
All
I
right,
think.
Perfect.
Sense motive. Oh, I have a rank. Also, it's a D3 if you don't have
All right.
improved
You
armor,
see
right?
him. He tries to feint you and then throws a wide swing. Unfortunately, you see it coming, so you're not going to be flat-footed. But he swings at you again for a 20, hitting you in the face. I need you to give me a fortitude check, please.
First, the damage from the first attack
Yes.
that I hit.
Yes, please.
It's a D3, right?
Yes, D3 plus strength. Not bad. Not bad. You were taking 7, and I need you to give me a fortitude save, please.
Oof.
The last thing you see is you gut check him, and then he brings his fist back, and it's just a fist into your face, and you are knocked the fuck out, good sir. Excuse my language, chat, but you are knocked out.
He deserved it.
Everyone else.
You can hear in the distance is Heroes of Sandpoint.
Is everyone else. You're in the streets, you're traveling around, you're making your way around, etc.
I still have some of the fish I bought.
And
I still have some of the fish I
tonics.
bought.
Yep.
Beer tonics, hair tonics, healing,
Beard tonics? Ooh.
plenty to go around.
Hi, Shayless Vendor.
I'm taking some of the fish I bought out of
That is
Sumi's little
hilarious.
saddlebags and feeding
Small
it to
one,
her.
get out of that window.
As you're making your way around town, a gentleman by the name of Jesk Cragtooth actually makes his way over to you if you selling your tonics, Red. And he's gonna make his way over to you, and you see he has it's a decent looking beard, nothing too fancy or anything like that. He walks over and says, You mentioned something about tonics for beards."
Right.
He looks really
Have
suspicious.
a beard just as nice as mine.
I'm looking for volume. Volume. Can you do anything for volume?
This right here, this one will I do. And he just like a shady salesman, he opens up his coat.
Right.
And he's got vials.
Nothing underneath.
Right. There's a girl who works over at the Pixie's Kitten. Her name's Hannah, and she says she wants my beard to have more volume.
Pixie's kitten.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's a brothel.
Right. You have to show me where that place is. I need to get paid though.
Not
The
not
sheriff
gonna do
owes
that.
me some money.
Not gonna show you where it's at. They'd never let me in again.
Well, with the beer that you'll have after you take some of this, you don't. Well, you could drink it and it'll do the same thing, but just splash it around the face.
How much is it?
How much you got?
4 copper. Spent the rest of me gold at the brothel.
How about some silver?
He looks around. You sure it works?
It's. When was the last time you saw an elf with a beard?
He reaches in his pocket and takes out a silver and pays you for it. Grabs it, looks around, smothers it over his beard like this. Does it work, Red? Is it an actual beard volumizer, or is it just snake oil?
It's gonna glisten.
Ooh.
It's gonna look lustrous.
Lustrous. All right, maybe a little
Yeah.
volume, a little extra volume. Okay. It's like almost magically his beard starts to look just a little bit more full. That grayness actually starts to fill in. It's like got a little bit more color to it. And he looks around for a shiny surface and can't find one. Is it working?
It looks great to me.
She's gonna love it, and he is going to almost scurry off like a man half his age in the direction of the Pixie's kitten, which is near the center of town, as it were, center south side of town. But with that being said, Osmerding, what are you up to?
Well, I'm going to try to go into the door of the. If maybe Shayless didn't lock the door.
Oh, yeah, the front door to Van Vender's shop. Yeah, it's open.
All right, I'm
It's
going to
actually
go
open.
in.
Yep.
And I want to look for a stubbity.
Oh, are you gonna steal something?
It's a club. I'm looking for a club.
You're looking for a club. Okay. You can actually. Let's go ahead and have you make a stealth check.
Oh my gosh! I'm not even. I'm just walking in. Is there anybody in there?
There is no one on the first floor, but you hear a commotion in the basement through an open hatch.
All right, I'm just gonna.
You son of a bitch! What'd you call my daughter?
I'm just gonna look for a club.
Sir, she is a hussy, and she came on to me.
I'm looking for a club. So.
Let's go ahead and have you roll a D100.
I got a 12 on my perception check.
97. You know
Wow.
what? That's really good. You find a masterwork club. Very nice. Sized for a small person as well. Sized for a small person. And I need you to roll me another D100 because something very important here is whether or not Ven's going to be climbing up the ladder with Scarde over his shoulder. You rolled a 27. So as you're picking up this club, looking at it, it's super fancy. You hear a very angry voice from behind you. Who the fuck are you? God damn it, Osmerding, I've told you about sneaking around in my shop.
19 stealth.
I'll have him make a perception check. Let's see what happens. 13. You slip into the shadows with your new ill-gotten club. He goes, where the hell did he go? And you see that he has Scarde knocked out over his shoulder.
And you hear, before I leave, hi, Shayless Vendor.
From down the hatch, you hear, hello, Osmerding.
Like your hair.
Don't ever talk to me again, you stupid gnome.
Man. Wow.
And
Wow.
unceremoniously, you are
Wow.
chucked out the front door, and then in the loudest, angriest voice you've ever heard, he's a very angry man. He screams, if I see you or any of your so-called heroes of Sandpoint near my shop again, I'll kill every one of you. You're banned from my store. You hear that? These so-called heroes, they tried to take their way with my daughter. Bunch of... And he slams the door.
It was the other way around.
And you are now waking back up from
Unconscious.
being knocked out, and everyone can actually convene back in front of the vendor's shop. And you see Scarde, a little lump, black eye starting to form. But yeah, that happened. Oh boy.
I like clubbies. Club.
Where'd you get that club, Oz?
Oh, this right here. It's a baton. It's got that little notch on the top, so I can go clubbity or stubbity
Where'd
instead
you
of
get it?
stabity.
I think I found in the woods.
I found it. It was just sitting in there wide open. I just took it. It was wide there.
Let me see it.
No, it's right here. See, it's mine.
Let me see it.
Mine. What's he trying to do?
Can I tell it's masterwork?
It is a masterwork club. It's a very nice club. It's sized for a small humanoid. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the hands on the hips. Oz. I won't say anything.
Thank you. Mine.
Where'd you get it from?
It's mine.
I know it's yours, but who had it for you?
Nobody. That's why it's mine.
The ocean masterworked this club with the tides.
I am technically part of the guard.
No, nobody had it. It didn't belong to anybody. I found it. It's mine.
You really should wear the livery of the guard if you're part of the guard.
I'm an undercover sting operation.
It does seem a little disingenuous.
Okay, so he just did a sense motive, and I'm going to counter.
And I
that.
can tell you're lying. It just. Oh.
Yeah, you know I'm lying.
Oh, he's lying so bad. He's not even. I don't think he's trying to hide it. He's not even trying to hide it right now. So good.
Yeah, I'm sitting there.
So
I'm
good.
learning how to spin it, and it keeps falling, and I pick it up, try to spin it again. I'm remembering a fancy guy that walked around with a cane. So
Well,
I'm
if you're not going
remembering
to tell me who you stole it from,
I didn't steal from anybody. It didn't belong to anybody. It was just sitting by
Speaking
itself.
of a fancy man with a cane, your friend, the Wayward Noble actually arrives on the scene, and he has a big grin on his face as he looks over to Osmerding, and you see he picks up his cane and actually twirls it around. It goes right around his hand, flips it up in the air, it comes back down, and he catches it. You know, I could teach you that if you have a mind for it.
Oh,
You're quite an outlandish person.
And I'll just stand there and mimic him.
As he stamps his staff down on his cane down on the ground, he says, "Well, my friends, should I say heroes of Sandpoint, I have a proposal for you. As thanks for saving my life and the life of my hounds, I wish to, well, dare I say, take you on a boar hunt. What do you say to that?"
Sounds
To participate in the hunt.
this isn't another entrapment thing, right?
It sounds boring.
Oh, I tell you, my dear Oz, boar hunts are one of the most exciting things that a person can do. You must go into the woods, look around, hide and sneak and wait and hope that you find. They're a little boring, but when the boar shows up, now then it is exciting. Did you know that boars, even when they should be dead, will continue to fight back? One of the most fascinating and difficult creatures to actually hunt.
I'm gonna walk around behind him.
He's a bit of an outlandish folk, but I do have to agree with him. Boar hunts are quite interesting.
See, I knew that you, my dear Weave, you would understand the excitement, the drive, the adventure of a boar hunt.
And I'm mimicking him to his back.
Oz, it's not nice.
What? Oh, mimicry is actually one of the highest forms of flattery. So, quite fine. Carry on, young man. So, what do you say? Will you join me? I can actually have the horses as well as the gear prepared this very afternoon.
You hunt boars on horseback?
No, I'll have horseback for us to go to where the boars are.
Oh.
I don't know how to ride.
I can teach you.
I'm 3. They have pony?
And he like puts his hand back on Oz's face to shut him up.
Oz, you can just ride the horse with me. Come on.
Do you use the hounds in your boar hunts?
What are you sleight of handing, Oz?
Whatever I can.
You know what? You can actually sleight of hand his coin purse. Roll me 1d10.
Right.
You find 8 copper in the coin purse.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
I don't know. You roll a perception to see if you saw me.
Me, is it worth it?
So,
I failed.
Can I count you all in, or just Weave? I assume you would be coming. You seemed quite exciting, and honestly, having Sumi with us could be a bit of a leg up on the old boar hunt, as it were.
I'm behind him, and I take his pouch and I pour it out, and all of you see the copper.
Tink,
Jeez,
tink,
dude.
Tink, 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 tink. He
I
pays.
genuinely feel bad for this guy, like out of character. I feel bad for this dude.
Well, Oz can come with us.
I tried to put it back. Now he noticed it.
He looked. What did you? Silly little boy, and kind of ruffles your hair, just like he obviously seems like he doesn't care, but he just ruffles his hair a little bit and then picks up his coins. Oh, playful one, aren't you? Quite glorious. But with that being said, so I can count Weave in. Osmerding will be there as well, and then Skade, you're coming too. Yes, aren't you?
I have to make sure Oz doesn't get hurt.
That is quite noble of you. That's why
I
you are
don't wanna
indeed the heroes of
go.
Sandpoint. And and he points over to Red. Will you be attending?
Red's just been staring this entire time, just watching everything go down. So, the hunting boar for eating?
But of course, what else would you hunt boar for?
Some people hunt it for the sport. I appreciate that you do hunt it for the eating.
Well, I do it for the sport as well as the eating. I have actually already reconnoitered Imako's cook, Joe the cook. He made that delicious chicken and bread thing this morning. It was absolutely delightful. And the syrup was, just to die for, might I say. To give me a bit of the rumbling tummy, a little bit of bubble butt a little bit later, but no big deal. Totally got over it. Well worth the price to pay for such a delicious, delicious meal. But she has said that they will cook an entire feast for us in your honor once we actually slay the boar. And he just kind of starts to go on and on and on like a noble would. But yeah.
Oz,
I appreciate your attitude. Sorry.
Oz, you look like you're about to blow a gasket.
He talks more than me.
Quite impossible. I've heard about how much you talk. So will you elf person be coming with us as well? It was Red. Oh, Red. Forgive me. I mean no disrespect. Red, you'll be coming with us as well?
I still need to get paid for today. Well, I did so much in the graveyard, right?
Did you do anything in the graveyard?
Oh dear. Quite.
Yes.
He made my face pretty.
Oh yes, the spit magic. I'm not quite keen on it personally.
He didn't spit this time. He just.
I don't really want the details, if I'm being entirely honest. There's a reason I left.
But
I was there as an insurance policy.
You can see the hair going
if
in
you
and
all
out.
would have died, I would have necromancered you all back. You know how much you love that.
it
We've been
seems
staring
like
daggers.
You all have a lot to discuss, but I will see you on the North Gate at 1 p.m. this afternoon. That gives you several hours to prepare, and might I say, I am excited. And he picks up his cane, throws it in the air, does a little flip with it, goes to catch it, and I'm actually going to have him make a reflex save, because I want to see if he actually catches it or if he fails. And let's see what happens.
Badass.
26! He catches it, swiftly grabs onto it, gives Oz a little wink, and then he heads off to the north side of the city to likely prepare for this boar hunt this afternoon.
All right. I'm gonna try that.
Red, you're not actually a necromancer, right?
You know what, Oz? You managed to do it. You fumble it for a second, but you managed to catch it. It actually looks
I'd
pretty
like
cool.
to smack Oz with my quarterstaff to try to make him miss.
Ooh.
What the heck?
Go ahead and make a opposed reflex save. Go ahead and you make a reflex. Higher of the two wins.
A reflex save.
Let's make a reflex save.
On defenses, right underneath the top. Yeah, you miss. I go, ha!
You go to swing, but Oz's quick little fingers are too quick, and you just whoop. He grabs it, and you go to hit him with it, and you miss. But with that being said,
you need to respect your elders, small one. Better to make friends than enemies.
What about
several hours to
frenemies?
bicker. That's funny.
Says the man who talks about raising corpses in the same breath.
Necromancy and raising dead are two different things. That is established.
I don't
Okay.
know. It's wizard stuff.
That seems like so semantic at like a certain point.
That's all wizard stuff to me.
If you know, there is a lot of necromancy magic that does not involve the raising of dead.
True.
Yeah,
That is
yes.
true.
Some healing, in fact, is based on necromancy.
Is this in character? It's the sword.
Yes.
Yes, but he specifically told of raising us after we had died.
He said use necromancy on you. It then does not
After we had
necessarily-
died! That was the
Maybe-
whole crux of it!
Maybe he
we
said. Maybe he meant he was going to cast.
Why do you defend the Rag and Bone Man?
Because he is a colorful individual and he make a great addition to this town.
Yeah, he's cool.
Everybody loves me.
I wouldn't go that far, but you are a colorful individual.
The
Mostly
children,
yellow, but colorful.
The children love me. They're like,
Um,
ooh, I want to sit on old tonic man's lap.
No.
No,
If
you're
I
not
find
saying
you
Nope,
raising any
nope.
dead,
Nope. I'm walking
committing any
away.
high necromancy,
as
Sumi's
this-
teeth will be at
This
yours.
little
I'm walking-
conversation
I'm
is going
walking.
on,
We're walking.
and you're arguing From somewhere behind the group, you hear an almost shrill voice. Osmerding, Philip, John, Jacob, Jingleheimer, young man, you get over here this instant! And it is your mother standing about 30 feet away from you, and she is furious looking.
I'm gonna keep walking like I didn't hear her.
Osmerding, I know you heard me. You will stop this instant, turn around, and march your little feet right over here.
I'm gonna like peek around the corner, just watching him get scolded.
I'm gonna keep on trying to walk away.
Osmerding, I'm going to count to 3, and if I get to 3, you don't want me to get to 3.
I'll just back up. I'm not going to turn around. I'm just going to back up.
And as Osmerding slowly backs up, that is where we will take our quick 5 to 10 minute break. Stick around for part 2 of session 2. We're just going to hop away so that we can take a quick break, get a breather, grab some snacks. And everyone else, take a breather, grab some snacks, use the restroom, have your favorite drink, either adult beverage or not. But happy gaming. We'll be back here shortly with a little bit more of Rise of the Runelords session 2. Stick around. All right, and we are back with part 2 of of Session 2 of Rise of the Runelords. And you know what, Oz? We're going to leave that uncomfortable conversation that Oz had with his mother. Let's just say that Oz has more scars. These are more emotional scars from the lashing, the tongue lashing that he got from his mom. She was not happy about his new scars. Luckily, your father showed back up. And when he showed back up, he calmed your mother down a little bit. But you are in the doghouse with your mom right now. Your dad gave you a thumbs up, and he said it looks really cool. He was like, looks really cool. And that was that. But we will open our scene now as you have gotten on horseback. You've made your way north out of the city into the thicket wood. And what I'll actually do is I will quickly pivot you over to the Sandpoint Hinterlands map, just so you can get a little bit of a view of what the surrounding area looks like. And the thicket wood is roughly 1.5 miles away from Sandpoint down the road, and you've traveled with your friend, the good noble. You've traveled with him over Alderaan Foxglove into the thicket wood, and he's just been going on and on about. He's just incredibly interested in your adventures, where you've been, and for whatever reason, he's actually been mostly trying to pick up conversation with Weave. He's interested because, Weave, you're obviously a druid, and I must say it, I would assume you've traveled quite far and wide, and where would you have found such an interesting cat? Sumi, I believe is what you called her. She's wearing armor. It's quite fascinating. What tell me everything. It's really what I want to know everything. Don't spare the details.
Sumi is my companion. We first met in the Ashwood, which is my homeland to the east. And I've been raising her since she was just a little kitten. I could tell immediately that she had a connection to the earth. And I kind of like, as we're walking, or I guess we're on horseback or something.
Yeah, you can be on horseback, yeah.
I kind of note down to Sumi and how like there's this kind of primordial glow from her chest and how her paws are constantly caked in rock. Mm-hmm. She's more in tune with the earth than I am, and I find that quite amazing. And so I've raised her from her small state into what she is now, and she is quite impressive. I'm quite interested in your interest in the boar hunt. Do you bring your dogs? I guess I would see if the dogs are here.
The dogs are here as well. Yes, they're doing what dogs do. Like if you've ever seen like a fox hunt or something like that, where they're like running forward and then back and forth and this around. They're all just kind of wiggling around and weaving in and out of bushes and over and through underbrush and around trees, and not really barking, just sniffing the ground and looking. Oh yes, I've gone on a number of boar hunts. One of my favorite pastimes, if I dare so say. I mean, not quite my favorite, is having a conversation with heroes of the local region, but I must say I want to thank you for your candidness about your adventures. I've unfortunately lived a bit of a boring life, as it were, for a local minor noble, just, upkeeping the old Foxglove Manor and doing things of that nature. And suddenly there is a bark. And we're going to pivot back to the map that I just had you all on. And as you break into a clearing, you see that there is the ruins of looks like maybe an old watchtower that existed here at one point. It's very overgrown with moss. You see little vines, and you can see there's little pebbles and rocks and some knocked over trees. And you can hear the wind. Not a strong breeze, but just a light breeze, and you can hear the rustling of the trees, and you still smell, at least in this area, there's that slight dampness. If you've ever been in a forest a day or so, or right after a rain, you can smell that kind of like moist, wet leaf kind of smell. But with its nose down into the underbrush, in the middle of this fallen tower, you all see a boar, and the dogs are low and they're growling at this boar. Now, each of you has been equipped with a boar spear. You each have a boar spear. You can use it or choose not to, but if you actually want to just look up boar spear, each of you has just a regular old looking boar spear, and you are all on horseback, and you see this boar up in front of you, and Alderaan puts his arms wide. Wait, there it is. Now the most exciting part. Who will make the kill?
Can I cast a spell as we're getting ready?
Absolutely, you can cast a spell.
I'll cast guidance. I have multiple guidances up at once.
I see no reason why you can't.
I don't think you can.
I'm gonna say you can. GM rules.
Or a spear.
All right. Everyone gets a +1 to whatever happens. Whatever happens next, they get a +1.
And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna have everybody roll initiative right now, and we're gonna have ourselves a boar hunt.
Sounds kind of boring.
While we've been walking up, Sumi has this like special bone that she kind of takes out of her own pack and she chews on it whenever she's not in combat, and then she puts it away whenever she's about to get into something.
Okay.
And this is actually just to let you know, it's a wet bone. It's actually an item that makes her first natural attack do 1 more damage, and I have a buff for it, so we don't have to worry about it. But
Is it like a whetstone?
it's a whetstone, but it's a wet bone, so it's just for Sumi's little natural attacks.
Hilarious.
Could I have gotten a heal from Father Xanthus at some point?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
You could be. No,
Only
apparently
four.
not.
One.
You know what? Actually, no. Father Xanthus was sleeping.
Red, can I get some healing at some point on their way here?
Yeah, we haven't gotten a rest, have we? I don't have my spell.
You have not. This is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this
It's
point.
fine.
As long as you give me your best complaint.
Complaints?
What? What?
You said best complaint?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Yes, yeah. Everybody complains when I heal them. It's
You do this for fun. This is you get kicks. You do it. You make it gross on purpose.
Friends,
Just you like being insulted.
heroes of friends. There is a boar over there, and if we're too loud, we will alert it to our presence. And the dogs are
Rolled
slowly
a
growling.
1. Who gives a crap what it thinks? Nah,
What?
nothing.
Is she quite all right? Something about
That wasn't I didn't even do the accent. That
was she
clearly wasn't in
rolling?
character.
I don't understand what she's talking about. And you hear the boar. It's like sniffing around. It's probably looking for morels or mushrooms of some kind, and it's
Truffles.
seems to have maybe found some truffles, and it's going to town on those truffles right now. But first up in the initiative is Osmerding. Go ahead.
Osmeri is really bored and like doesn't want to be here, and he only came here to get away from his mother.
That's fair.
And so he's just really down, and so he's just going to get his crossbow out. And if the boar comes within 30 feet, he'll shoot at it. Otherwise, he's gonna climb that tree.
I screwed up on my initiative. Can you add it in there?
Oh, you didn't? I fixed it for you. Boopski.
And that'll
So
be
Osmerding, you climb a tree. Scardy would feel Osmerding hop off the back. You see him scurry up a tree like some sort of I don't know, squirrel monkey. And with that being said, next up is Sumi.
Sumi can close that distance.
Oh, yeah,
Sumi runs and gives them a paw swipe.
Ooh, paw swipe it up.
Swipe. Well,
So Sumi paw
Flat-footed.
swipes into the boar, and you can see her claws that are caked in this kind of rock, and it just rakes across the boar's side, and you see it just only catches fur, and the boar lets out a "Wee!" and the whole forest, you see birds take flight, and there's that rustling of leaves as some birds that were resting in the trees all take flight, and it roars at Sumi, looking very angry, very, very, very angry. Red, you're up next.
All right. Can we retcon that heal that I would have gave Scardy on the way here? I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. That's totally fine. 100%.
All right. I'll roll that for you if that's all right.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
You cast the spell.
Yeah. So five points of healing somewhere along. I stuck my fingernail,
So
poked my index finger into whatever kind
great
of.
news, Scarday. All damage you had was non-lethal. So you are back to full. He was punching you. He didn't. He just punching you. It's all good. But with that being said, Red, what would you like to do on your turn?
So I'm on a horse, right?
You are on a horse.
Of course.
I will park him over here and sit on the horse. And from what I understand, this spear, right? So you just kind of prep it. It says if you ready, AC goes up by 2. I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna watch from the side over here.
I love it. Aldrin from the back, also wielding a boar spear, just kind of plants it on his side. He says, "Yes, go and get it! Oh, this is so exciting! It's wonderful to see competent hunters at their best. And look at the kitty go!" He just seems to be having an absolute delightful time watching you all boar hunt, I suppose. And Scarday, you're up next.
I measured it out. Perfect distance for a charge.
Love it. Woof.
+2 to this attack.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah,
That
so
is
11
a
damage.
solid blow. Are you wielding the scythe or are you wielding the boar spear at this
scythe.
point? The scythe, perfect. Slashing down, you cut deep into the boar's back, and it just it looks pissed off at you, just frothing at the mouth as you do so. Weave, you are up next.
Yeah, I can only move 20 feet, so I'll just move up a little bit. No, not that far. There we go. And then I'll whip one of my little pellets at it. With one of my sling.
Beautiful.
Go side character.
Sling! Wow, that missed. Great.
Sling goes wide, tinking off the back side of this. So imagine if you
can
will
do it,
this,
Sumi!
this fallen tower, the back side, where to the back of the boar is a little bit higher. There's a low wall, mostly crumbled in front of you. But as you throw the pellet, it goes wide, clinks into the wall. But as it clinks into the back wall, you actually notice that there is this kind of trickle of what looks like arcane energy along the back wall. And it kind of travels down, hits the ground, and then spider webs out towards the boar. Nothing else happens, but you watch as that takes place. Next up is the thicketwood boar. The boar again lets out that horrific loud squeal, and as it does so, it almost seems to grow, not quite double in size, but about size and a half. I need both, actually just Scarday at this point, since you're standing right next to it. Give me a perception check, please.
He got angry.
Yeah, you don't notice anything other than the boar seems slightly bigger, and it is now going to try to gore you with a 12, and it will miss terribly. But it goes to bring one of its tusks up, and as it swipes its tusks up, are you still horseback, or did you hop off the horse? Brilliant. Okay, so it swipes at you, and as it does so, it gouges out, and you see it strikes both dirt, and then there's still some rock on the ground from where this was at some point a floor, like a stone floor. It actually pierces, splitting that stone in half, and sends shards of stone up into your face. Give me a reflex save. 20.
No.
You manage to bring your scythe up, and it just you can hear those rocks kind of strike, and you get a couple little nicks and scrapes, but no actual resounding damage. Next up is going to be back to Osmerding.
Yeah, he's just gonna wait
Just bored.
up in the tree. He's bored.
Sume, you're up next.
Sumi is going to rip and tear.
Yes, do it, Sume.
Be successful this time, Sumi, please. I clicked it, but okay, there we go.
All my friends are watching.
6 and 3. So the 17 is a solid blow into the boar. As Sumi chomps down onto the boar, Weave, you would watch as this greenish kind of arcane energy seems to travel along the ground, strike the boar's back legs, and then weave itself up over its backside. The boar starts to shake and vibrate very quickly. And Sumi, I need Sumi to give us a fortitude save.
Okay.
Sumi is currently...
Sumi is rolling so bad.
Sumi is
dude.
currently sickened. Something about that bite into the boar has
She has
given
a
her a
plus
foul
6.
taste. A foul taste in her mouth. And she is now sickened. However, the boar
chicken.
appears to be starting to bleed out. The second claw does hit, and that is a solid 6 point of bleed damage.
Yeah, that's every
Moving
turn. And that's max
forward.
bleed, so it's just going to keep taking that.
That is very good. All right, next up is going to be Red.
Does it look like these people are in danger, or
I
I'm
mean,
gonna like call
can I
out
see
free
anything?
action real quick. I just want to call out that there's like magic afoot, right? There's like magic that's the tower is aiding the boar somehow,
Alden moves
attacking
up.
it.
Magic, you say? Where is it? Can I see it? What's happening?
That's my thing.
All right. I'll move. The horse will move up a little bit. I guess to kind of right there, and Red will jump off and dismount, I guess. And he's going to. So this is a wall here, right?
It's low enough to
this
where you can
round piece?
step over. That lower round piece is only about 2 feet high, so you could very easily step over it.
Can you hide behind it at all?
Oh, absolutely, if you crouch down, 100%.
Okay, so he'll crouch and kind of walk along this edge here like this, and kind of peek through here, this little crack over here, and stealth that way.
Give me a spellcraft check on the boar as you get around the side.
Okay, so
It's a high DC. It's a high DC because you don't have detect magic up, but I want to see if you recognize something about what's happening to this boar. Weave, you can make that check as well. So can you, Scarde.
Spellcraft.
Nope. All right, nobody is
17.
certain quite what's going on with this creature right now.
All right, but I'm gonna roll you a stealth check.
Okay.
Why does it say it's untrained? It is.
If unless you don't need me to, but I'm
No, I mean, if you want to be hiding, the boar seems completely fixated on the kitty cat and the man with a scythe in front of him. You feel properly hidden, Red. You feel properly hidden. Next up is Alderin, who has moved his horse up next to Weave. Weave, you mentioned something about magic. Was it yours? Was it something about the forest? What's going on? This is so exciting.
No, the boar seems to be empowered somehow, possibly by the tower.
Powered by the
sickened
tower?
my cat. I'm not entirely certain.
Oh dear. Is it something we should be scared of or aware of? What's going on?
Do you know any history to this tower?
I certainly do not.
I don't know.
Red, you
Boar
want to say
doesn't seem
something?
too threatening.
I didn't really do anything with my action on my turn. Can I cast detect magic if they're
Oh,
saying that there's,
absolutely.
So somebody said something about magic, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, then,
Weave did.
And as I stealth over there and peek in there, I'll use the cantrip and I'll detect magic then.
You see a green aura around this boar at this time.
Do I know? Does it tell me what type of magic it is?
You recognize it as transmutation magic.
Okay. All right, then that was my turn.
Garde, you're up next.
I will do the booping,
Boop it.
the boopity boppity.
Boop it and
You know
flip
what? For the sake of trying to steal a glory, I'm gonna hero point to reroll.
it. Oh my gosh. Fair enough. 24 for 13. All right. So with that blow, the boar is still alive, but looks like it should be dead. You have scythed its underbelly. Its inside has started to spill onto the ground, and it's still squealing at you angrily. Weave, you're up next.
Whip
I so want you to hit right now. I so want you to hit.
17?
17
Actually, no, that's an 18.
Is a hit. You clunk it on the brain noggin, and it falls over dead.
What's the giant with that you killed with a sling?
Goliath.
The old
Goliath,
myth.
David and Goliath.
Yeah.
The Bible
David
myth.
and Goliath.
Yeah, that's totally good.
Yeah, exactly.
The boar shrinks back down to its normal size, and as it does so, this tingly, kind of like sparkly little green magic appears to weave off of it, no pun intended. Weaves along the ground, spider webbing, almost arcing like electricity would, goes back up into the wall, and then it fades away. Alderin starts clapping. Magnificent! Magnificent, my friends! Well done! I've never seen a boar taken so handedly. I don't think it actually hurt any of us. Usually at least one or two of the dogs gets... And he just goes on and on and on about how you all did just such a fantastic job of killing this boar.
Falls out of the tree. Breaks a leg.
Asmerding, you fall out of the tree, and you take 3 falling damage.
I'm going to drape my hand across my eyes and cast Detect Magic on myself as I kind of walk around this area.
As you cast your Detect Magic spell and begin to analyze and view the surrounding area, You pick up out of the corner of your vision that 60-foot cone, right? 60-foot cone for detect magic?
Yes.
30? 60? 60 foot. But as you do your scan, in the corner of that vision, that cone in front of you, you'll pick up greens and reds
60.
and purples, different colors of different schools of magic. You'll see a bit of conjuration. For a moment, you'll see transmutation. For a moment, you'll see even some illusion. But every time you look directly at it, it fades away. And after 6, maybe 12 seconds of looking around, that magic you were seeing is completely gone.
I wonder if this is one of the old ley lines. Hmm.
Maybe.
Does anyone speak Thessalonian?
That's just me.
I also.
Red, as you are still hiding behind the rock, just to your right, you notice some ancient-looking script. It's very faded, but you see some ancient script, and you recognize the language as being of ancient Thassalon. Give us a... Do you have linguistics?
Do I have linguistics? The skill, right? No, I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead and just give us a general intelligence check.
I have linguistics, by the way.
That's
and can read Thessalonian.
Linguistics, is that a skill, I guess? Or?
Yeah, it's a skill.
Yeah, it's a background skill.
Okay. I don't see it on the list, but background skill. Gotcha. I mean, I don't put any ranks in it, but
do you have class?
No.
Is it a class skill? Okay.
No, I know plenty of languages, so I didn't go with that. But anyway, core intelligence. Yeah.
11. So you recognize that it's ancient script that looks like it was carved into this stone. And it looks like maybe someone was trying to write something, and it's been etched with magic, so it's actually quite legible, other than it's, not complete. And
I'll take some notes.
And it simply states, this is the end. Please tell, and then that's all it says.
Whoever we're supposed to tell has presumably been dead forever, so... No.
I'll walk around and just investigate the area and see if there's anything else interesting around.
It's like a little
magical
pool.
Or anything
like a
going
pool
on.
of water here, or what is this triangle?
That is just a little water that gets gathered in the center. Nothing of any great importance or significance.
I'm gonna comfort Sumi. She's like gagging again.
She looks just disappointed in herself and life. But Alderin has walked over. He is surveying the boar. He's got a spear next to him like he's the one that slayed it. My friends, we are going to feast tonight. This is going to be absolutely delicious. I am so excited. Do you have a preference on spices? Oh, we do have to get this back. Scarde, you look like a strong fellow. Why don't you pick it up, throw it on the back of your horse, and we will take it back to town.
Probably double check it for some sort of poison or magical trace. It didn't seem to agree with Sumi when she bit into it. There's a chance that we'd be causing a bit of a problem.
This guy.
Does Sumi just get sick with everything?
Give us either survival
It's normally not like this.
or a heal check. Anyone that wants to investigate this boar and see if it's
My heal is insane, actually. Of course I roll a 1 though, so who cares?
So with this quick scan of the body itself, you're not seeing anything. Maybe you cut into it, you start to actually prepare it, etc. But as you cut into it, the meat looks fine. There's no black, there's no green, it doesn't smell funny. Nothing about this boar seems out of place.
Did my part.
I'll pick it up and drape it over my horse.
Brilliant. And as you pick it up and drape it over your horse, do you want to do any other investigating of this tower? I know, Red, you said you were going to be looking around for any other markings or anything like that. Is that correct?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. As you are moving around and just kind of investigating things, give us a quick perception check, please. Let's see if you notice something.
But do you tell us that you found Thessalonian writing?
Yeah,
Would red be forthcoming?
It didn't mean anything to me, so I would probably say not, unless I find something of actual significance. I assume that this place is filled with all this stuff.
As though whispered on the wind. Greed.
What is that, greed? He spins around and looks all over the place and grabs his staff and like waves it in the air.
You alright there, Red?
How's meriting? Give us a perception check, please.
I'm whittling.
Yep, nothing. Scarde, perception check. Weave, perception check as well, please. Scarde, whispered on the wind as well. Pride.
Can I knowledge history this?
Sure. Weave, you hear just the rustling of leaves aggressively, and that's it.
Can I look where the boar was digging and see if there's any like truffles or mushrooms?
There are absolutely some truffles. There's a whole bundle of truffles.
Nice. I'm gonna add a little bun. I'm gonna pick them and add them to my little pouch.
Perfect.
They're so good at finding the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So would I know the connection?
Unfortunately, no. You don't know.
Right.
You don't think of anything. Nothing crosses your mind. In fact, you're not even sure if you actually heard this whispered on the wind. It was probably just the breeze, maybe the rustling of the leaves. Who knows? Who knows what it was?
Bundle of mushrooms added.
Osmeriting, as you are whittling away, you feel a tug at the back of your shirt. As you look back, you see nothing.
Well, with that, I suppose we should get going before the meat spoils.
Before the meat spoils, indeed. We should definitely head back to town. I'm sure Joe is going to be delighted at this wonderful, wonderful boar that we've gotten. Should we throw a party? Or perhaps it should be invite only. I'm thinking maybe just some of the nobles, other nobles in town. We should definitely invite the mayor, this and that. And he just goes on and on and on as you all make your way back to Sandpoint. And with that being said, it's going to be late afternoon, early evening at this point. I would say somewhere around probably about 5 o'clock. So early evening as you all arrive back in Sandpoint. And the boar is
One
given
last thing.
Go ahead, please.
Sorry. Can I recover my sling bullets?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
with just kind of a precedent going forward, unless you throw them over the edge of a cliff or you run away from combat,
okay,
you can get your sling bullets back. No problem.
Thank you.
I'm not worried about it. But with that being said, you head back to town, and what would everyone like to do? There's going to be a quote-unquote private feast at the Rusty Dragon of delicious boar meat that the heroes of Sandpoint, that Aldrin Floxgo's been going around telling this tale about how you deftly and swiftly ran in, you wrangled the beast. It was a concerted effort. He's definitely telling a tall tale. It's about how it was crazy, and the boar run at them, this and that, and you went in, and the boar, it was 400 pounds, and this and that, and he's telling this fantastical tale. However, there is Ven Vender, who, as this story is being told, is actually countering the story with how one of your lot is a lecherous, terrible human being that tried to take advantage of his daughter, and that the child, the gnome, he's actually a thief that stole from him. So most of Sandpoint still likes you, but there is a small group of Sandpoint here that is maybe not so convinced that you're the true heroes of Sandpoint, but you've got a couple hours to burn. Let's go to Weave and Sumi. What would you be doing first?
I would want to be negotiating with the tavern owner, like explaining the situation that Sumi's being hunted, and try and get Sumi access to my room so that I can keep a better eye on her.
So Amiko doesn't normally allow pets or animal companions into
I
the
assure
Rusty
you she's
Dragon.
house trained.
But with that being said, give us a diplomacy check.
All right.
And I'm going to give you
My
advantage
greatest
on
skill.
this. You can actually roll twice.
Advantage
Yeah.
in my Pathfinder.
I know, crazy. That's a 20. That's pretty good. So Amiko she's behind the bar. You're making your case to her. She's wiping it down. If she shits in the hallway, you're cleaning it up.
I assure you she won't. In fact, anytime she walks in dirt and mud, it actually just stays on her paws and doesn't come off. Walking around, she'll probably clean the place more than sully it.
You know, I've been looking for a... We'll discuss that later, but quite fine. You can let her inside. So you've discussed that with her. Scardy, what would you be doing in the time?
I would probably be going back to my house to invite my family to the feast.
They would be glad to arrive. Your father wants to hear all about the boar hunt and how you slew the boar. He heard from Alderin that you were an integral part of the battle, and you were actually the one that took it down, and so he wants to hear all about the boar hunt. Also, anyone that talks to Alderin about who slew it, it was you that did it. So if they ask specifically, what did that creepy old man with the spider webs do? Is, oh, he's the one that took it down with magic. If they're asking about the lady with the cat, it was, oh yes, her and her animal companion, she was astride it, and they rode into combat, and the elf stabbed. The story gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and more ostentatious. And then when it comes to Osmerding, he ran in and just stabbed it in the gut multiple times. He was quick, he was swift, he was magnificent. And it just goes on and on. The story gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh no, he's just being. Oh no, he's just being humble.
Vendor is lying. Vender's lying.
Oh yes, that man is just a grumpy old fuss. But I digress. Bunch of lecherous, thieving, scallywagged-looking nerf herders. But anyway, so with that being said, Red, what are you doing during this quick break prior to the feast?
Who's that?
Red, you sir.
Oh. I'm sitting next to Van Vinder and I'm chatting him up, telling him, yeah, the heroes of Sandpoint, dirty heroes, got a thief, got a daughter, a daughter stealer, that nature woman over there trying to peddle her cat, but is not trying to sell her to anybody, saying that it's priceless. I'm a necromancer. Oh my gosh.
Did you say you're a
That's the rumor.
Why do you smell like burnt, leathery bacon?
Oh, shit. He pulls out a piece of pork chop that's in his pocket in the inside of that. He sniffs it, and then he takes a bite. Still good.
The look of disgust on Vender's face is the stuff of legends, and he squints his eyes. Did you... What?
But if you're still having trouble with rats, I kind of play a little flute and they follow me out of your basement.
I really want to make you make a roll for this, but I think your description of just being ridiculous is enough to where he shuts up and goes home. He just doesn't want to deal with Red anymore.
Yeah, Red's just drinking too much ale and having a blast in here.
Having a great time. Osmerding, what are you up to?
Instigating.
I'm trying to get some more ale out of Amiko. I hurt my ankle.
So Amiko is not about to give you any ale, but there's other servers inside of the Rusty Dragon Inn, and one of them is a young lady.
Oh hi.
And she's actually a little flirtatious with Osmerding, not to the point of like she's gonna get busy with you or anything, but to the point of where it's like maybe like an older, like if she was like your babysitter or something, and like so that little playfulness, nothing creepy or weird, but she's playing around, and she is actually going to sneak you an adult size beverage, so a big mug, and she puts her finger up to her lips. Now don't tell anyone you got it from me.
Okay, after I drink that whole thing,
Give us a fortitude save.
that's what I was hoping you were gonna do.
You're gonna roll twice, and you're gonna take the worst result.
Oh, disadvantage.
Oh yeah, I've been playing a lot of 5e.
Advantage in my Pathfinder.
I know. Whoa, 21. Okay, I really hope the other one's a 12. Perfect. All right. So Asmerding, you drink it, you drink it, you drink it. You down that thing. You feel fine. Everyone else, Asmerding is slurring his words. Cannot
I'm not even
stand up
talking.
straight.
I'm not even talking. I'm just sitting in the chair.
He is wavering back and forth like
I'm just
the
sitting in the
whole
chair.
world is spinning. Just wee. He's having a great old time. So we fast forward now to this gathering, and we actually have a number of notable folks. We've got Alderaan Foxglove. We
Unless
have
you said notable.
Baylor Hemlock. Father Xantus does not attend. Eric Stein, who is actually one of the other clerics in town, not a very powerful or well-known cleric, but just someone who kind of helps out around the cathedral. And then we also have Chimere Kendra Deviern, and she is sitting with Scarde, his father, and their family, and there's some music that's playing, kind of a nice little, like, I don't know, like a little upbeat music in the background. We'll put on a little music there for you. And everyone is having an absolute riot. The food is delicious. The boar has been cooked to just pristine. It melts in your mouth. Just absolutely fantastic. The best meal you've ever had in your entire lives. It's melting off the bone. The music is lively. People are even starting to dance. You know, people are talking about, oh, the heroes of Sandpoint, and they're patting you on the backs. No one's coming near Red because he smells terrible. But, you know, with a respectable distance, they're telling you that you're absolutely fantastic. Even folks are coming up and giving Oz even more alcohol if he chooses to drink it as thanks. They're like, don't tell your mom that we're giving this to you. Oh, don't tell your mom. And Oz is getting maybe properly drunk. Scarde, you're getting drinks.
I have one.
Go ahead, please.
So I just thought of something funny. Can I retroactively invite the girl? Not Venvender, but the girl.
Oh my god, yes. Yes. You can.
Why?
Yes, you absolutely can. You're inviting Shayless?
Yeah.
Now, how did Scarde invite her? Was it like, hey, do you want to come to this thing? Or was it like, I'd really like it if you came to this thing?
Send her a note.
Well, first I have to... I'll wait until Venvender is not in the shop. Probably spewing nonsense about whatever I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sneak in, tell her there's a feast going on. Come with us.
Let me get this straight. You reject me, and now you invite me to a party?
I didn't reject you. I just said I can't do things right now. If you...
Oh.
I barely know you. We can get to know each other.
A look of like sudden realization crosses her face. Oh, are you a eunuch?
What?
You said you couldn't do things. Does it not?
No.
Is it gone?
No, I was in the middle of doing something for the sheriff.
Oh, I get it. That's fine. I mean, hey, we're completely open here in this town. Totally understand. Not a problem.
It's this all over again.
This is your own fault for inviting her.
I would be happy to come as your friend.
Sure.
So Shayless
Get what you deserve.
So Shayless is there. And yeah, that's good times. So she's there. And at the height of the party, everyone is singing, and there's some singing going on, there's some dancing. They've got this new song called The Heroes of Sandpoint Are Here to Save Us. The goblins, they have no chance. The heroes of Sandpoint are here to save us. Even the smelly red one. Oh, yay! And a doodly doodly doo. And they're just like having a good time. The music going.
Alicia Alden isn't a bard.
And they definitely should. You should get a bard at some point. At
Amigo's
the
a
height
bard.
of the party, at the height of the gathering, there is a loud bang as the front door of the tavern slams open. And a man with a disgruntled and almost angry looking look on his face gets into the room. Hey, Miko! Where are you? This is preposterous. You have this shop. You hang out with all of these grumpy and horrible-looking pedestrian people. You must come home now. And he marches over to the bar, slamming his fist down. It is enough is enough. You must come home and learn the family business. You have gone off. You did your adventuring. You did your traveling. And now you run this horrific establishment. This is disgusting. You'll come home now. And he goes back and forth. And Aimiko is crossing her arms and just looks completely pissed off as he just continues to berate and yell at her and yell at her. And finally she says, Father, this is my establishment and you have no right to speak with me here. I made my choice and I do not wish to run the glassworks. That is unacceptable, daughter. You will come home now. It is done. I am putting my foot down. And this is going back and forth and back and forth.
I'll start walking over.
And it's starting to get actually more and more aggressive. And Shayless is talking with your father and the mayor. You walk over. He looks over. Who are you? What are you doing here? So-called heroes of Sands Point. You are frauds. You are just liars and cheats. What are you doing? You are likely the reason that my daughter is choosing to stay here. And he just starts going off, spouting all of this just offensive BS in your face and just getting more and more and more aggressive.
Hero of Sand Point or not, I'm still a town guard. And I want to make sure people in this town survive and have a nice time. You came in here spewing nonsense, trying to make this woman do something that she didn't want to do. So, you get out of here.
This woman? This woman is my daughter, and she will do as her father says. Who are you to tell me otherwise?
A man of free will.
Ooh.
It seems like owning taverns would be quite good business for glassworks.
A tavern is beneath the Kajitsu name.
Where do you sell glass?
And he stops. To hell with both of you. And to you, daughter. I disown you. You are dishonorable and you dishonor our name. And he slams his fist down on the table again and goes to turn. And as he goes to walk out the door, he stops once more, turning around. Despicable swine! All of you! He marches out the door, slamming it behind him. Aimiko lets out a heavy sigh. I thank you for your help, and let's just carry on and have a good evening.
Come on, let's start the music back up, guys.
And the heroes of Sandpoint are super great, and the heroes of Sandpoint we celebrate, and la 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 la.
After all that, Red just starts clapping, just like...
They're just having a good time, dancing and singing and jumping around and all not. But the rest of the evening actually passes without any other interruptions. People get properly sloshed. The boar, all of the boar meat is actually eaten. This entire giant boar is just devoured. No upset stomachs. Sumi can eat the boar meat. It's perfect. Pristine. Doesn't have any Sumi tummy aches at all. And in the rest of the evening, does anyone else have any other conversations they'd like to do tonight before we press on to the next day?
Small chatter, basically.
Small chatter, small talk.
Still trying to get some gold from the sheriff or some kind of reward.
And as
I need ale money.
Yeah, as you ask the sheriff for gold, he actually pats you on the back, pulls it back, and picks off a couple of spider webs from his hand. And he's just, there's gold coming your way, and there's actually something else to be said for you, my lad. There's wealth to be gained in simply doing the right thing.
I've done the right thing for over 100 years.
And I'm sure you have many stories to
I
tell.
do the right thing, I do the right thing, I do the wrong thing, I do all things. How about that?
Delightful. Aimiko, another drink, please. And he's going to make his way back to the bar. Weave, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I also want to talk to the sheriff, and I'm going to... We followed the footprints out further, the ones that probably belonged to the necromancer. They led out into the forest, away from the town. So you're probably actually right that there aren't any necromancers in Sandpoint.
I am both relieved and pleased to hear that.
That said, have you done any digging? Have you found whose grave that was?
So we did a bit of digging, and what's interesting is that grave was of the the late daughter of the former high cleric, high priest.
So both the High Cleric and his daughter were stolen at the same time? Oh dear. What? I can only imagine what horrible... Ugh.
What are your theories?
I have no idea. But taking both a man and his late daughter, it seems so evil in the simplest of terms. It's not like they're just taking bodies. It's one thing to just take bodies. Even if it was just the father, there was a chance that the holy body could have been used for something specific. But the fact that they're taking people directly by birth, by who they were, not by their power or just by convenience of a shallow grave, it scares me. It puts my hair at end.
And the sheriff grabs the mug, reaches over, grabs another mug from someone that's passed out at the bar, and slides it over. Do you drink, Weave?
Not any of the ale that's been made in here.
Slowly slides it back to the drunk guy next to him. Then I'll knock one back. Here's to hoping this isn't as we fear it is. Knocks it back. Glug, 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 glug.
Indeed.
Setting it down. Well, I'm feeling a bit, well, not quite myself right now. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. If I see anything, I'll let you and your fellow heroes. And he says that not with any kind of undertone or bite or anything like that. It's genuine. You can hear the appreciation in his voice. We'll keep our ears and our eyes open. Keep doing what you're doing. And
please keep me informed, especially on matters of the undead and supernatural.
I will.
They're my specialty.
And he actually reaches out and just puts his hand on yours just for a moment and just says, thank you. And then he gets up. All right, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And everyone looks up, and just does a wave.
Tavern. Some people have to stay here.
I'm kidding. I don't know this place. And he, just sheriff joke. All right, and he's going to make his way out of the tavern. And you all go to sleep. Maybe some of you have some hangovers. Definitely Osmeric does. But
at
go
that
ahead, Red.
end of the night, Red's head is just completely cocked back in a very uncomfortable looking position. You know, like almost a 90-degree angle. His big Adam's apple is just kind of sticking out, and he's just snoring. He's had probably five to 10 ales.
Yeah, same.
Just loud. The two of you just, two peas in a pod, just passed out. And everyone else... Oh, go ahead, Scarde, please.
I'll make sure Osmeric is in a bed when he wakes up.
Cool.
If the sheriff didn't want to pay me, I would have at least tried to get an ale out of him.
Oh, he got you an ale.
Okay.
He got you 2 ales. And
then I was out.
The conversation with the mayor, your family, Scarde, goes very well. Shayless actually carries herself quite nicely. A little bit more upstanding, less throwing herself at you kind of person. And I'll leave it up to you to decide how well the conversation goes, Scarde. Entirely up to you. But as you all go to sleep, I'm gonna have everyone give me will saves, please.
Do I have to apply the sickened condition to myself?
You absolutely do.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Does Sumi need to make a will save?
Sumi does not.
Okay.
Perfect. We're gonna start with Scarde. As you lay your head to rest, you haven't had too much to drink, or I don't know. You can decide how much you've had, but you lay your head to rest, and you are out like a light bulb or like a candle. Darkness, and you begin to dream. And at first, it's a dream of your time in Magnamar. You are training with some of your friends, and it's going very well. You see your commander, your sergeant, drill sergeant as it were, and he's giving orders, and you see that there's tactics going on. It's a beautiful, beautiful golden sun, clear sky, and you're in this training yard. You can hear the clang of steel, the thud of arrows hitting targets, and it feels beautiful. It feels good. And as the training continues and continues, that clang, that clash, those thuds start to become more and more rapid. They start to become more and more aggressive. And the sky, this cloudless sky above you, starts to become more and more dark. And you see these thunderheads, these blackened clouds start to roll in. And as it does so, this partner, a friend of yours that you were training with, and you can imagine whoever it might be, but you watch as he starts to kind of fade into this blackness. And as he starts to fade into this blackness, you watch as his mouth begins to open, and he's still clang, 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 and you're blocking the blows. But as he starts to fade into this blackness, his skin starts to go gaunt and tight against his face. And as he does so, he opens his mouth, and from it, a deluge of golden coins starts to spill out. And as you watch around, all of the people around you, all of your fellow trainees, all of your fellow warriors start to open their mouths, and gold coins start to fill the entire area. You begin to try to swim through the gold coins, but it starts to fill up more and more and more and more. And the last thing you see before you awaken, drenched in sweat, is the gold coins block your path, block your eyesight, and you are buried and drowned in them. Again, you awaken with a cold sweat, your bed completely drenched, and you can feel your heart. Dun, 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 dun. Osmerding, you have a dream as well. But this dream, you are in the streets of Sandpoint. You're a bit younger. And actually, you're there with a couple of your younger friends. Maybe even Scarday is in this dream. And you are playing in the streets, doing what children do, running around. And you find yourself near the glassworks. And it's a beautiful day, similar to the way I described it to Scarnay. You're by the glassworks, and you're playing. You can hear birds in the sky. You hear the seabirds, the seagulls. And you actually see, on the corner of your eye, you see your mother. She's walking into the glassworks. But it's not just your mother that's walking into the glassworks. There's someone behind her, a kind of shadowy, black-looking, specter-like figure. And you go to call out to her to say, Mother, there's someone behind you, but nothing comes out of your mouth. In fact, you look down, and your supposed friends that you were playing with, they are also black specters, and they're holding on to your arms, and they're preventing you. And one of them has this shadowy hand over your mouth, and is blocking you from being able to scream. And you go to scream, but you have no breath. You can't do it. And you watch as your mother walks into the glassworks. She goes into the glassworks, and then you start to see smoke. And then in literally an instant, the entire glassworks is engulfed in flames. You can actually feel the heat upon your face. And as you feel this heat upon your face, you too awaken and instantaneously lean over the side and vomit onto the floor because you are very hungover. But what's strange is that you can still feel as though there is heat on your face for a few moments after you awaken. But in the morning, you'll all wake up, some of you more hungover than others. What would you be doing in the morning?
Probably just getting some water.
Okay. Very good.
I would like to borrow. Did you say his name was Joe the cook?
Joe the cook?
Yeah, I'd like to borrow Joe the cook's kitchen.
Ah,
Good
good
I'd
morning.
like to ask him so I could cook up my mushrooms that I collected the other day.
Wait, are those truffles?
Yes.
You know, I actually have some flank steak in the back that would go delightful with, if you wouldn't mind maybe collaborating on a steak and eggs this morning for our guests.
We've thinks it over. Like she was kind of excited about these, and she's worried that Joe's gonna fuck up this meal like the last one. But because she still honestly believes that the chicken was the cause of
It
all
probably.
this.
I mean, I for one think it was absolutely.
Fine. And she hands over the pouch of mushrooms.
All right. Do you have profession cook?
I do not have profession cook.
That is unfortunate. Guess who does have profession cook? Joe the cook. Joe the cook. He has profession cook. He absolutely does. So, here's the question. Joe the cook. All right. Here we're gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and roll this. He's actually pretty good at it. He needs a 20. He rolled a nat 1. Oh no! He rolled a nat 1!
Oh my god!
Before your eyes, you watch Joe butcher preparing these truffles. Completely wrong. Like, just freaking, like, doesn't do anything correct with them. Cuts them up, fries them with the steak, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to cut the truffles up, put them over the top. Completely ruins them.
Can I say that it was partly my fault because I'm asking for tomato juice because I need a hangover cure in the morning. You know,
he uses
hair
part
of the dog.
Truffles. He crushes them up with some tomatoes to make tomato juice.
I'd like
your truffles are ruined.
I'd like to. I keep asking for different sauces, and it's distracting him.
Yeah.
While he's trying to cook these truffles, I'm like, Worcestershire sauce is how you say it. Tomato juice. And I'm concocting a drink there to get over my hangover, which I will include. I will grab a bottle which I state is hair tonic to other people, and I'll pour that into my drink as well.
Oh God.
I just leave. I like march out. Like, I'm not even gonna watch him finish the recipe. I already know it's ruined.
It's just olive oil.
I'm just gonna chill with Sumi outside. I'm gonna pop open one of my trail rations, and that's gonna be my breakfast.
That's your breakfast. Just pop open a trail rations.
It's good for the skin and the hair.
That is fantastic. So, steak and eggs is served. Basically, the truffles are non-existent. The steak's okay. It's like medium rare. It's okay. It's like salt and pepper. Nothing crazy. You know, it's nothing to write home about. It's not the local steakhouse or anything like that. But you have breakfast, and what's interesting though in the morning is the tavern is pretty empty. Other than you all staying here, there's no one else here right now. Everyone seems to have gone home. You've got Ralph, who is the bar boy, I guess you could call him. You know, just bus boy, as it were. You've got the one gal that works here, along with Imiko. Who is named Katrina. You've got Amiko, and then obviously Joe the cook, and they're just going about their business. They serve you your meal, etc. But it's about 20-30 minutes after you've all woken up. You've had your breakfast. Weave has had proper time to grumble and moan in the back there and pout, as it were. And a woman,
poor mushrooms.
A woman actually.
Hey, they taste really good.
Weave is not engaging with Red this morning.
It is too early in the morning.
It is too early in the morning for Red, and my mushrooms are already ruined. And it is partially Red's fault.
A frantic woman actually comes rushing into the tavern. The heroes of Sandpoint! The heroes of Sandpoint! Are they here? Please, something terrible has happened. My husband, I think that one of the goblins may have gotten into our closet, and there's blood everywhere, and I don't know what's happening. Please, are you here? Can you help us, please? And she frantically runs over, and she, not like flirtatiously grabs onto Scarde, but desperately grabs onto Scarde and grabs onto him. Please. She is tears, frantic. You see there's actually some blood on her hands. Just a little smattering of blood, and she is screaming at you that there's a monster, there's a goblin, her husband, she thinks it got him. Please, you have to come, you have to save him. Oh, please, God, there's blood everywhere, and she is just freaking out and panicking in this moment.
I'm just gonna let out a whistle, like a pretty loud one for everyone to hear.
Everyone turns. Joe the cook even pokes his head out. That good, eh? I knew those truffles would be delicious with that steak. Where's Weave, by the way? I've got her plate ready here. Weave! Steak's ready!
I was mostly whistling for Weave, because I don't know where Weave is.
On one hand, I want to go back in because I was called, but on one hand, I don't want to go back in because I was called.
So good.
You do hear a lady scream.
All right. We've and Sumi, who now has access, will come inside.
Perfect. Awesome.
A goblin snuck into their house.
A cat snuck into my house.
As I hear him
timing.
now.
Yeah, you can hear him. That's I've been muting myself because he's been going off. Anyways,
I'll look back.
We were wondering how the goblins got into the city, weren't we? They didn't seem to come in through one of the gates. Maybe one of the passengers that they got here in is underneath this house. It's definitely worth investigating.
Yeah, I'll look back to Oz and Red. If you guys aren't up for the job, we can go without you.
Oh, I'll come.
I'm not carrying you.
That's fine.
Also, you better not let your mom see you like this.
Okay.
You can ride in my cart.
No thanks.
Isn't your cart burned?
Hey, it's art. It still rolls.
All right.
It just looks great now.
I assume you're coming then, Red.
Yeah. You need me.
Yeah.
The woman, whose name's Sarah, is frantically trying to get you all to follow her, and as soon as you're all ready, she will lead you very quickly towards her home.
Okay.
I haven't seen such excitement in years. I'm having a blast.
And as you arrive at the home, she points to the front door, which has been shut. It's not locked, and she says, "Please, it's in the master bedroom. No, my son's bedroom." And you see that she actually has a young boy that is now next to her. He was with some other people, but he's holding on. "Mama, is Daddy okay?" She says, I don't know, Tim. Please, you have to save him. Please, you have to. I don't know what happened. There was so much blood, and the dog." And she just is bubbling and just blithering about how terrible this was. But if you'd like, you can proceed to open the front door.
I
see
will.
What you discover.
I will open the door as fast as I can without damaging the door.
Excellent. As you swing open the door, you are greeted by a open room, and you see that there are some blood tracks along the floor, and the first, so not the first square, but just to the right there where you've moved to, Scarde, there is a door that's been shut, and you can see a little bloody kind of trail, like footprints that are exiting out from the door, so as though someone maybe stepped in blood and exited out. But give us perception checks as you get to this door. Oh yeah, you hear a
Yes, man flesh. Long shank.
and you
I'll
hear the
kick the door
tearing of
open.
flesh from the other side of the doorway. You're gonna kick open the door?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Inside is a relatively horrific looking scene. You see the backside lying face down. You see the lower torso of a man. His upper body is inside of a closet, and you see a dog that has had its throat slit, and there is a bloody pool next to it, as well as footprints on the ground as well. And from the closet, you hear this noise.
I'm gonna run at the closet and ready to swing at the goblin.
As you swing in, you see a frantic and scared looking goblin is currently chewing on the face, half-eaten face of this man. And as you charge in to the room, he looks up, Longshank! And I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick attack as you charge into him.
All right.
16 for 11. You bring your scythe down, severing his head. It spins around and lands on the ground. And the goblin says, "This isn't fair," and then promptly dies.
I come in and I see everything and I just boot everywhere.
Oh, just disgustingly booting everywhere. The man is dead. Very dead.
Oh.
In fact, most of his face is gone. And what it looks like is this goblin at some point had clawed his way into the floorboards of this closet. Perhaps he found his way in here and, got scared, and the man heard this rustling and went to investigate, and the goblin killed him and then started eating his face. But he's dead. Yeah. Sarah's husband is dead. So
I'm
that's a thing.
gonna go over to Weave Hey, it's pretty bad in there.
Imagine they're not recoverable.
No.
I will not bother trying.
Yeah. Can you? Let's go out there and talk to them together. Can you take the kid
Real quick,
out of earshot?
before we do that, let's peek in the other room just in case. I'd have Sumi do it, but she's not good with doorknobs.
I will save you some time. The other room is empty.
Okay.
So yeah, keep the kid occupied while I break the news to the mom.
I will do a little hand sign for Sumi to heal on me, and so she follows me out. And I take the kid off and have Sumi play with the kid a little bit.
The kid is both slightly distracted, but still looks upset. And looks to you, Weave, as Sumi comes over. Is Papa okay? Is he coming out?
I'm not so sure.
And what we'll do is we will have who wants to break the news to Sarah that her husband is...
I figured out that was me.
Where is he? Is he injured? Is he coming out? What's happened?
If you don't want to, I can.
No, Red, you're not good with people.
I'm great with people. Are you kidding?
You're great with making them not happy.
You sold a hair tonic just yesterday.
I make people happy every day. I don't know what you're talking about.
To add a slight amount of levity to this situation, walking by is that man with the beard, and he actually gives Red 2 finger guns. He's like, ah, and
I do it back, and I'm like, hey.
And you see him. He slips into the Pixie's kitten.
Red, I can handle it.
All right.
I'm gonna look down.
I'll hold my specialties for a more important occasion. Thank you for letting me. Let me take it. What? Where is the small one? I'm gonna go look for Oz.
Yeah, come with me. We'll leave these people alone.
Your husband and your dog, they didn't survive.
What do you mean they didn't survive? Thomas? Thomas, what's happened? And she tries to push past you to rush inside.
I'll like do the like cliche like grab her and like make it so she can't.
Yeah.
Like...
And she cliche fist on chest. No, it can't be. He can't be dead. And then her tears start to fall, but that sobbing starts to turn into anger. Heroes of Sandpoint? If you were heroes, you'd still be alive. This is your fault. You said you were supposed to get all of them. It's your fault. It's your fault. And just pounding on your chest, just roaring in sobbing anger. And then she goes limp in your arms, and if you choose to hold her up, otherwise she falls to her knees and just pounding on you ineffectually, screaming and wailing about how if you truly were heroes, he'd still be alive.
I'm gonna look down. Like, I assume I'm taller than her by a decent margin.
Significantly.
I'll look down to her. I didn't sign up for the hero job. There are some horrors in this world that I wish not for anyone to bear, and I'm sorry that you have to deal with it.
Diplomacy check.
Meanwhile, Weave has just like picked up the kid and put him on Sumi's back, and Sumi's like racing around.
Yeah. Yeah. Kid's having an okay time. For now.
I'll say that Red has a soft spot for women who've lost their husbands, and he'll kind of walk over.
I don't know why that sounded funny.
I know.
In a different context,
you can see him. He looks saddened, and he'll walk up doesn't have to get super close, but he'll say, "Madam, I at no charge I will defeat, I will sever every head of every goblin I come across in your husband's name.
Roll to
We'll
assist.
get you justice."
A diplomacy check. Roll to assist. I'm gonna give you a +2 to this check. You got to get at least a 10, and you'll actually give an assist to Scarde on this.
Diplomacy.
And if
This
this isn't to like help with the diplomacy, but I will shed a tear for the husband.
I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the music really quick.
All right, so +2 to this number that I roll. Shit.
Okay.
So
A foul-smelling man.
foul-smelling man comes up. Don't you dare speak his name. Don't you dare. You monsters. You're no better than the goblins. And she rushes over to grab her child off of Sumi's back, turning back to the four of you. I'll tell everyone. The frauds that you are. And she rushes away from the scene without another word in your direction.
This town's weird.
Well, guys, I mean, I've traveled a lot all over the place. You know, sometimes you do well in a town, and sometimes you don't. But you know what? There's 100 different towns around, so you just make whichever one it does. I can't say that I have any that I've done well in, but there's probably another one out there.
It's hard
Oz,
to do that.
Oz, you want to get out of here, right? You don't want to live in Sandpoint all your life. You want adventure, right?
Why are you talking so loud? Shalelu! Hi, Shalelu! Hi,
And
Shalelu!
with a smug look on her face, a person that obviously Oz recognizes, and Scarde, you would likely know Shalu as well, because she is the local ranger and tracker in the Sandpoint. Not really a direct member of the town, but someone that makes her presence known and occasionally comes back into town for supplies. And she, you don't know how long, has been watching this situation, and she actually puts her hand on her hip and smiles at Oz, making eye contact with him. I see you've been keeping busy, Oz.
Yeah, I'm a hero of Sandpoint. And
Weave heads back into the house.
They gave me ale at the Rusty Dragon.
That is not a responsible decision, if I may say. I'm actually on my way to see Sheriff Hemlock, and did you say Heroes of Sandpoint?
Yeah, there was a goblin attack, and all of us killed the smelly
At the
elf
look
man.
of goblin attack, her expression, which has at this point been not necessarily playful, but just friendly. You know, she knows you. You know, obviously she's seen a relatively depressing looking scene take place, but she's not letting it bother her. It turns stone cold. I actually bring news of the goblins. This should wait until we speak with the sheriff. If you are, as you say, Oz, Heroes of Sandpoint, perhaps you should be in attendance as well.
I'm starting to really hate that title.
Most heroes do.
Weave, did you hear that?
Weave,
We've
what are you
heard it,
doing
and she's going
inside?
in.
What are you doing inside?
I'm checking the cabinet. I want to see where the hole goes.
So the hole goes down about 6 feet. So it goes down about 3 feet, and then another 3 feet. It looks like the goblin was trying to dig his way out of this area.
So the goblin must have gotten into the house in the commotion of the attack and hid there for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this wasn't a pre-existing tunnel or anything like that. This is just okay.
Good thought,
okay.
Good thought,
and that's
though.
why it's eating the face, because it was starving, because it's been in there for 2 days.
It's, several days, about 3, almost 4 days
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's we should probably clean up the body just so. Yeah, I'm gonna grab what's left of. Is the closet door mostly intact?
It is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna lay that down, grab the body of the man, and drape like a piece of fabric over it.
You can grab the
Enough-
sheet off the bed and use that if you wanted to. Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I'm gonna ask Weave or Red to help me to bring it to the church.
As you are preparing and taking care of this, Shalelu makes mention that she's going to head to the garrison and that when you're free, she'd like it if you could be there as well. And she's
Yeah.
going
We'll certainly
to...
catch up. Information on the goblin attacks would be quite useful, but I think it is important that we get this mutilated body out of here.
I'm gonna ask. Actually, I think it'd be better if Red helps me. Do you want to try to track down the lady and tell her that we're bringing his body to the church?
Sure, I can go do that.
I don't want Red doing it.
Yeah.
No offense to Red.
Weave survival check.
I am
to track.
strongly offended.
This is
You track-
my tracking. And then Sumi is also going to do it with her scent. So Sumi, and then whatever bonus you want to give for scent.
So you can find her. She has moved to likely what is like a family's home. A lot of Sandpoint have, there's families that live here, etc. So she's staying in a family's home, and as you get there, Weave, an older gentleman, likely a grandfather, her father, something opens the door. Your kind is not welcome here.
I merely came to inform you that we've taken the body to the cathedral so it can be put to rest.
If you'd done your job right, wouldn't need to be there.
I suppose. I take my leave.
Slam.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you take the body to the cathedral. Xantus is there. Oh dear. So what happened?
What was his name again?
Father Xantus.
No, the dead body.
Thomas.
Thomas, yeah.
Thomas met
Anderson.
he met an unfortunate end due to a goblin hiding in his closet.
Rubbing the back of his neck. Unfortunate times. I thought that... I will see to the family. Make sure that they are taken care of.
Yeah. His wife is rather beaten up about it.
Doing our job.
What do you mean, doing your job?
Killing the goblins, he means.
Do you fill him
Or
in
she.
on what she was saying about you?
What about the lady?
Yeah, how she was like speaking ill of you and whatnot, or are you just letting it lie at this point?
Letting it lie.
Okay. Well, I will make sure that proper preparations are taken for his burial, and we will see that he is given a proper burial. Thank you for continuing to protect this town in what ways you can. It is uncommon for people to stand up for those who cannot. You have my thanks.
Good day to you, Father Xantus.
And to you, Scarde. By the way, your father is extremely proud of everything you've done.
As I've heard a million times.
He told me to tell you. Gives you a smile and a nod to Weave. And as you two leave, Oz and Red, what are you guys doing? You heading directly off to the barracks? Are you fooling around for a little bit? What are we doing?
You know, Oz, I've had a lot of titles as well. Shaman of Sheerwolf, Elder of Edenton, Scoundrel of Strawden, Defiler of Dilwith, Beard. I won a competition once. Wise One of Merrington, and now Heroes of Sandpoint.
Oh, you can't be heroes. You can only be a hero.
Oh, you're a smart one.
And you're
not.
not.
You don't even know.
That's all right. What you've learned and forgotten is more than I've ever known. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, it's all right here in the skull. It's a curse. It
Okay.
won't ever leave me.
Yeah. Well, this town's pretty cool, but it's got some weird folks. Maybe we should go see. You were you reading some of those funny runes at that tower where the boar was?
Yeah, there was some magic there, but it was gibberish.
Well, there's a guy that lives in town. I help him with his gnomish because he speaks really bad gnomish and it's horrible. Um, he says aluminum instead of aluminum. It's just so silly. His name is Brodert Quink, and I could take you there. And maybe y'all could talk about the things that you might want to, these old people stuff.
Old people stuff.
The older people that used to live here before anybody.
Thessalonians.
Yeah, older people.
Sure. I'd love to meet this gentleman.
We'll go up there while everybody else is doing whatever they're doing, and I'll
Lead the way.
I'll take him up to meet Mr. Brodert.
Mr. Bodert Quink. I like it. And as you travel up, go ahead, Red, please.
I have to say, she says you have potential, and I should look out for you.
Who? My mom?
No, my friend,
The spider?
and I put out my hand, and a spider, this tarantula-looking thing, crawls out from outside of my sleeve into my palm.
That's
I
so cool.
show it. She makes the wise decisions for both of us.
I can see. How many eyes does it have?
All of them, I guess.
That makes sense.
She's very precious to me.
Is she precious? Or is she precious?
Let's go see this
Brodert.
Quink.
Brodert Quink, yes. You can call him Mr. Quink. I call him Mr. Quink. You can call him Brodert. But I'll introduce you, and then we'll maybe learn something about those old people that used to live in the area.
All right.
And as you both head off to Bodert Quink, I think it is thematically appropriate that Scarday and Weave, would you be heading directly to the garrison after dropping off the body, or did you have anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I have no reason to delay.
So you two will actually arrive, and unfortunately, Red and Osmerding will not arrive. But at this point, they're gonna get the meeting started. So you are inside of the garrison.
You wanted us to go there,
and you have Baylor, you have Shlelu, you have the two of you, and then a couple of other, like maybe sergeants, like one or two of the town's guard. And Shlelu, deep breath. Baylor told me a bit more of everything you did against the goblins, and might I say, well done. I've actually dedicated the last several years of my life to keeping them from causing too much trouble around these parts, but they are, dare I say, tenacious little fucking runts. Anyway, like weeds. They're like weeds that bite, that's what they are. There are 5 major goblin tribes in this region, and traditionally they are pretty good at keeping each other in line with intertribal squabbles and the like, but from what I've been able to piece together, members of all 5 tribes were involved in the raid on Sandpoint. A fair number of the Mosswood goblins I dealt with yesterday were already pretty beat up, and there was actually a lot of chatter about Longshanks, who killed so many of them. Now that I've met all of you, I can see which Longshanks they were talking about. But also seems like you've made a bit of an impression with those goblins. In any event, the fact that the 5 tribes are now working together disturbs me. Goblin tribes don't get along unless they've got something very big planned, and any big plans require big bosses. I'm afraid someone's moved in on the goblins and organized them, and judging by these recent raids, what they're organizing seems like bad news for all of us.
Yeah, we saw that there's a humanoid sort of tracks behind at the cemetery because they were trying to steal some bodies.
Were you able
Possibly
to...
related. Possibly not.
Were you able to identify, was it a hobgoblin? Was it a bugbear? Could it have been
They wore shoes, whoever it was, and I don't imagine hobgoblins wear shoes very often.
She thinks for a moment. Well, there is Brothasmus. He's a bugbear that has been known to work in relation with the goblins. I've had a few run-ins with him. Never quite
He
been able
wears
to...
shoes?
And she nods. He does. Bastard. But I've never quite been able to put an arrow between his eyes. He is a tenacious one.
The robbing of the cemetery is particularly strange to me, seeing as that why would goblins and even a hobgoblin want bodies unless they were indeed doing something necromantic?
Candidly speaking, I don't know much about necromancy. I'm a ranger and nature.
Does the hobgoblin that you speak of have any aptitude for magic?
A bugbear, but not to my knowledge. He is much like me, trained in the bow and in the sword.
I see, other than the fact that they happened at similar times, I currently don't have enough to go on to say that they're actually related.
I think we need more information before we make any decisions, as it were.
I'm going to relay where the shoes, the shoe tracks, the body thieves, where they went. I'm going to relay that to her and see if there's any information she can give about that area, what might be that direction.
She thinks. The only thing I can think of would be Thistletop, but the goblins haven't been known to spend time there.
Thistletop? Is it just a forest or something?
It's an old fortress.
Fortress.
Very old. It's overgrown, covered in nettles, almost impossible to get to.
The goblins don't use this camp.
They haven't, but perhaps they are now.
When is the last time that you've been to Thistletop?
It's been several months.
That could be where their quote-unquote leader is.
Could also be not related to the goblins at all, but it still might be worth going there simply for the necromancer or whatever the bodies are being used for.
As you say that, Hemlock finally speaks up. I think you all should stay here. And I think that this situation is beyond my guards and even your help. And he points to both Shalelu as well as the two of you. I need to travel to Magnamar. And I need to request aid from the guard there. If these goblins are amassing, as you say, Shalelu, then we simply do not have enough men to defend against another attack.
Amassing behind an intelligence that will surely see you going to Magmar. Are you going to be going guarded or by yourself?
I will take a number of the guards with me, and we will leave under the cover of night. But in the meantime, I would ask that you and your friends stay here as signs of strength for the people. Could you do that for me?
I wonder how well that sign of strength will last.
And he tilts his head to the side, almost taken aback at that comment. What do you mean?
A woman's husband was killed today by a goblin that was trapped inside the city walls after the fighting.
Oh.
She swore quite vengeance on us.
People need a place to blame for their grief.
The hero title was thrust upon us quite quickly, and it makes sense that people have reservations about us.
Well, perhaps showing your strength in the face of adversity will convince those that doubt you. I, for one, believe in you. You've done right by me, and you've done right by my city. I must make preparations to leave. Shalelu, would you scout this Thistletop and see if indeed the goblins are amassing there? Shalelu nods her head. It'd be my honor. Sandpoint has always been good to me. Kind of a second home. The forest being the first one. And he looks to the two of you. If you could inform Red and... I don't believe I'm saying this, but Osmerding of the situation, I would greatly appreciate this.
What race is the huntress?
She is a half-elf.
Okay.
Or no, actually, Shalelu is a full elf, excuse me.
Okay.
And
we'll inform them.
With that, we will pivot over to Red and Osmerding, who arrive at Odert Quinks, a little shop or a little library, as it were, that he has
Little
next
house
to
of
the
horrors.
old light. And as you open the door, there's that little bell, ding-a-ling-ling, and it. Oh yes, hello. Welcome.
I finished saying, and if you drink the oil, you'll be able to imbibe many more ales and liquors, and it won't intoxicate you as much.
I'm not sure if I really want to.
Welcome to the shop. All books are 50% off today. We're having a Sandpoint Heroes flash sale.
Hi, Mr. Quink. How are you? This
Oh.
is Red.
Osmandy,
He's interested in the old people that used to live around here.
have you grown, my boy? You've gotten bigger. Look at you. It's been
Yep.
so long since I've seen you.
I
Last
grew a
time I
whole
laid
inch.
eyes on you, you were trying to pickpocket a book. Still getting into trouble, I assume.
But I always bring your books back because
You do, and that is
I
why
can't
I
read 'em.
like you, boy. I don't
I
know
can't
why
read
all the
'em.
other people in town say you're such a little scallywag. You're just a
That's
little...
okay.
Oh,
If he rubs my hair, I'll just.
Oh, he does. Absolutely does. It's a
Okay.
constant thing that happens constantly. But he looks to Red. Oh, so you are interested in ancient Thassalon? I'm a bit of an expert myself. In fact, the tower outside the window here, I believe, was actually an ancient, powered kind of some sort of like a war tower, not an actual lighthouse, which everyone always calls it the old light. And he starts to go on a little bit on a tangent, but it's interesting. You know, he has some information. Was there something specific you were looking for about ancient Thassalon that I could perhaps fill you in on?
Tell me more about this tower, war tower, you say.
So he goes into a long, drawn-out speech about how he believes that there were many of these towers that existed in ancient Thassalon, and that these towers were used. They were like giant, almost like giant turrets that could blast energy. And doesn't really have any real facts to support this, just some ancient scripts that he's read. And then he believes that ancient Thassalon actually spanned the entire world, and that there were these powerful leaders. He doesn't exactly know what they were called, but there's powerful leaders that existed, and that there was this horrific happening that actually knocked them all out of power. And he believes that some of them may have gone into sleeping or hiding. He's not exactly sure, but it's all quite fascinating. And he actually has a couple of ancient texts that he shares with you. But unless there's anything specific, it's all just a lot of, miscellaneous history that he shares with you.
Red will get comfortable if he's got a chair and discuss anything that he knows as well, and tell him about stories about any kind of literature he's read on Thessalonian culture, on history, and everything he knows. He really gets into it. He loves history, so
give us a knowledge history check if you have it.
He goes back and forth. He'll go on for hours if possible.
DC 15 is what you want.
Knowledge history. Man, my rolls suck, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm excited.
Knowledge history. That is not one. That's under background, I guess, right? Knowledge history.
Yes, it's under background.
All right. You can't do too bad, I guess. There you go.
Beautiful. Moving
forever.
forward, you're going to go ahead and add a note to your knowledge history. Anytime you are making a history check about anything related to ancient Thassalon, you will get a +2 to that from your conversation with Bodert. He's filled you in on a lot of interesting facts. He fills in a couple of holes that you had about some of the ancient history. He fills in a couple of holes you had, and back and forth there's this beautiful collaboration. Oz, you pass out in the corner.
We go on for a couple hours, I'd say.
That's fine. I mean, that's why I brought him, so I could
So
sleep
you could
off
take
my...
a nap, right? That's beautiful. I love that. But what we're going to do is we're going to fast track slightly. The Shalelu travels north, heading off to this Thistletop. Your Sheriff Hemlock, meets with you all briefly, takes a couple of the town's guard, heads south, and the rest of the day actually passes without any sort of upheaval, issues, any real problems. It's quiet, maybe too quiet. But as you all settle down in the evening, at the Rusty Dragon after a long day of doing your patrols and walking around and what have ye. I'm going to have everyone make a sense motive check on Shalelu. She seems slightly off. Distracted, even. Beautiful. 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 She's likely
she can
just
do no wrong.
She's likely just
no
tired.
wrong.
She's likely just tired, and whatnot. But as you all lay down to sleep at the end of this day, I'm gonna have everyone give will saves again. Actually, not everyone, just Weave and Red. I need both of you to give us will saves, please. All right, you guys are good.
I'd like to see you try.
I'd like to see you try to get into my brain, you creepy dream monster. But no, with that being said, you awaken in the morning. And in the morning, as you all travel downstairs, Amiko is actually missing. She's not there. She's usually behind the bar getting things ready. And you see that the bartender, the waitress, she is behind the bar and she is holding a letter in her hand. It's crumpled up and she looks rather frantic in this moment. Joe is preparing a meal. It actually smells pretty okay, by the way.
I don't believe it.
Smells all right. I said all right, pretty okay.
Weave has like no
faith in this guy.
Weave has no respect for Joe anymore.
For Joe anymore. I love it. But she, as you all get there, she looks up to you, and she says, "Amiko, she's gone. I don't understand. She didn't say anything. She just marched out this morning, and she left this behind, and I don't know what it means." And Katrina looks a little frantic, not as frantic as Sarah did, but she's visibly upset. And whoever approaches her first, she's actually going to pass this letter to you.
What's it say?
And you know what we're going to do is we're going to show the first player handout. Dun, dun, dun. All right, we'll open that up for the stream to see. I don't know if it's going to be big enough for the stream to see. I'm going to drag it over here so everyone can take a quick peek. But let's have one of you read it.
Suto? Is that how you'd say that? Right? With
Suto.
Silent,
Correct.
Silent T?
Red, why don't you read the letter?
Okay.
Joe, the morning drinks are great.
You're welcome!
Keep up the good work.
Yep.
I take the letter.
thick cut bacon, ready here in a few moments. Got a couple leftover truffles I'm
Hello,
using
sis.
as well.
I hope this letter finds you well and with some free time on your hands, because we've got something of a problem. It's to do with Father. Seems that he may have had something to do with Sandpoint's recent troubles with the goblins, and I didn't want to bring that matter to the authorities because we both know he just weaseled his way out of it. You've got some pull here in town, though. If you can meet me at the Glassworks at midnight tonight, maybe we can figure out how to make sure he faces the punishment he deserves. Not twice, and then 3 times more, and then once more at the delivery entrance, and I'll let you in. In any case, I don't have to impress upon you the delicate nature of this request. If news got out, you know these local rubes would assume that you and I were in on the whole thing too, don't you? They've got no honor at all around these parts. I still don't understand how you can stand to stay here. Anyway, don't tell anyone about this. There are other complications as well. Ones I'd rather talk to you in person about tonight. Do not be late. Suta.
Who's Suda?
Oh, I can tell you that.
I imagine Amani's sister, based on the text.
That's Amiko's. That's Amiko's sister. Why did I
Sis
suddenly
is short for
have
sister.
an accent? Yeah, why did I just suddenly have an accent? Yeah, that's Amiko's sister. He's part elf, which is weird because Amiko's not. So I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time. In fact, let me see if I can remember. Let me see if I can remember when I last time I saw him.
Years. Literal years.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember how long he's been. And this is the next morning, right?
This is the next morning. So based on this letter, she probably went last night at some point. Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. Should we go check on her?
Yeah. Maybe we should go to the,
She's been good
glassworks.
to us. The rooms are free because of her.
And
We are
and
not the authorities looking at Scar Day.
And I can go see my mom and my dad and go say hi at their work. That'd be kind of cool.
Hasn't the glassworks been closed the past few days?
It's open. Open and functioning.
I turned to the barkeeper woman that had this and I was like, "Did you see her leave? You said you saw her leave.
I didn't see her leave. I simply found this letter this morning.
Was it crumpled already?
It was.
Where did you find it?"
It was on the counter here. If I said she saw her leave, that was my mistake. She did not see her leave, by the way. Just a quick retcon. Yeah.
Well,
And
Okay.
she's going to meet her brother.
at
Big whoop.
midnight.
At midnight last night.
Family business.
If she's not back now, there might something might have happened.
Yeah, she's at the glassworks. I mean, I guess she's got this place to run.
Well, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go see what we can see.
Yeah, let's definitely go. Because I don't know if I trust her family, considering the whole debacle that happened at the party.
Yeah, that guy. Her daddy was rude.
Yeah, they might
Longjutsu. Longjutsu,
I don't-
Kaijutsu. Yeah, he's kind of a
I don't
jerk.
think I can pull this off, but maybe somebody else can. Like any linguistics check to recognize this writing and maybe who it might have been written by or something. Like if it was a noble or if it really was like
so
a forged letter, perhaps.
Linguistics would be the way to do that. Absolutely.
Yes, I know it's the stat, but I don't have it, so I'm asking like the
I have a
party
rank in it.
here.
Go ahead and make a check.
Yeah, I
already
rolled a
did.
20.
You got it,
20?
20.
So it is written in someone that went to a higher education. So somebody went to college. Like somebody went to college and wrote
good
this.
penmanship.
Like good penmanship. Correct. Good, very nice penmanship. That is correct.
Well,
Was her brother? Did he go to college local to anyone that has that higher learning?
Brother
Right.
actually
Well, they're rich. They're
disappeared.
Rich,
The one thing you would know is that Suto actually disappeared several years ago.
I wouldn't know
never-
any of that.
I never interacted with him much myself. I didn't know I honestly didn't. I forgot he existed.
He was always kind of mean.
Yeah, the whole family seems pretty mean, except for
Amiko's not.
Yeah.
She's nice.
yeah.
And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go over to where you guys are heading off to the glassworks. And I need perception checks from everyone at this point, real quick, if you don't mind.
You're a bad man, Wolfie.
My God.
Osmerding, it is actually quite poignant that you would be the one to roll the first success. Sumi would smell it but can't speak, so we're not sure. But Osmerding, normally there's smoke rising from the glassworks because they run furnaces, and there's normally smoke. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. The furnaces should be going. Smoke should be rising, but it's not.
That's funny. There should be smoke coming out of those smokestacks, and that's weird.
At least they're not burning any bodies.
What?
What's up with you?
Yeah.
What's up with you and bodies?
Hates
We're looking for a
necromancy
missing person, and a good way to get rid of a body is to burn it. So if there isn't anything being burned, that's good news.
No, it's bad because those things are supposed to be burnt.
Well,
Oh,
it's
I know.
bad because they're off, but it's good because whatever. Never mind.
No,
Doesn't
no.
matter.
Yeah, you're talking in riddles.
Where's the
Friendly
delivery?
to
entrance?
everyone else.
The delivery entrance is actually at the back of the glassworks.
I know where it is. I can check.
And I will go ahead and actually reveal that. And because these are curves, I am totally butchering revealing this part. So just give me 1 second to fix this. There we go. All right, that's good enough for government work. But you're going to go ahead and we're actually going to place you guys on the back side of this area. And it's where these little, and actually this is close by, Red, where you actually were sleeping. These little rocks over here up at the top there, That's actually where you were taking a nap. Yeah, so you actually recognize this area. Yeah, it's good.
The building gives good shade, blocks out the sun, so you can sleep another extra half hour.
And as you get up to the back door, I need everyone to give perception checks, please.
I'm supposed to be good at these, but I've rolled nat ones on my last two. There we go. I echolocate and know the layout
Hey,
of the inside of the
Osmerding,
building.
it's actually
Yeah.
quite poignant that you would hear this. But from inside, you hear a familiar and horrific song.
Goblins chew and goblins bite. Goblins kill and goblins kill everyone.
And that, my
I hear
friends,
goblins. I hear goblins.
and that, my friends, is where we will end today's session.
No.
Ah! Wow, that was a lot of fun. That was actually
Still all,
you guys did a great
still
job.
all level 1.
Well, hold on. I
We
have a
gain
bunch
experience.
I have a bunch of XP
Yeah, maybe.
to actually
I hope so.
calculate up
Hopefully
here.
we'll have
I
something.
think you're gonna be close. You're gonna be really
Since
really
we're on-
close.
we're
'cause
on the fast track.
This is the most fun part of the entire game.
Yeah, we killed a whole
We're
dire
gonna
boar.
see.
That's a lot of
And if you guys level up, I'll definitely let you level up so that you have your level up stuff before you go in and fight whatever you're about to fight. Let me go ahead and do
I'd
some
imagine they're goblins,
here.
right?
I don't. It's actually not goblins. It's actually kobolds. Yeah. They're just pretending to be
Imagine.
kobolds
Wrong
with
part of the
goblin
world.
like cosplay on. Yeah, it's goblin goblin cosplayers. It's fantastic.
Wrong-
God player.
wrong part of the
LARPing.
world for the world.
This here.
That'd be such a funny like adventure path, just a bunch of goblins
Let's switch to eight.
or kobolds.
So 850 experience points.
Oh,
Yeah,
puts us over, I
Does
think,
that
right?
put you over?
Where does that go on the sheet?
We're at
It's on the-
I
15.
think that puts
It's
you
on the core
over.
page.
We're at 1525, right?
yep, 1525. We are over.
And that is fantastic. So I wish I had like confetti or something that I could play on the stream, but I don't have that widget yet. So fantastic. Yeah, so congratulations, Rise of the Runelords group. You guys have officially reached level 2. And I'm actually going to go around the table real quick. I'm going to hand out a little bit of extra XP for some fantastic role playing as well.
Okay, there it is.
Red, your descriptions of being a creepy old fuck are just spot gosh darn on. And
Oh my
I really remember re-roll until you get at least half for HP. But I really want to say that the conversations that took place between you as Osmerding were absolutely on point and fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and give you both an additional 150 experience points each just for staying in character, being hilarious, and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. I appreciate your commitment to the character and the bits. Always great.
So 850 plus 150
for you both. Yep. Weave and Sumi. Sumi, because I feel bad, is going to get 50 experience points. Weave, you really took the leash today. You took the lead and dived into the story and the plot and really helped drive it forward today. So I'm going to give you, Sumi gets 50, you get 100. All right. And Scarde, because you went back and tried to make right with the young Vinder, I'd give you an additional 150 experience points. So everyone gets 150 experience points. And today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll a d4. I'm gonna go from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1d4. And number 2, Weave. Weave, you actually get an extra 1 experience point, so you're just as good as Red is. And the other two, you're both plus 1
man.
better. I know. It's a real shame.
I was ahead by 1
You were ahead
point.
by 1, and now you're tied with Weave and Sumi. But I thought you guys did an absolutely fantastic job. I, for one, had a lot of fun. I know this was a little bit of a longer session, but I was honestly just having a good time, so I wanted to keep playing. And I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. To all of our viewers, those that bounced in, bounced out, back and forth, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Don't forget to follow. You will see these lovely gentlemen back here next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Session 3, Level 2, of the Heroes of Sandpoint, Rise of the Runelords. And just, again, thank you, everybody. But until next time, as I always say, happy gaming. Thank you so much for walking. Be safe, be healthy, and go play yourselves some RPGs as well. Bye, everybody.
Bye.